before we start tonight's stream, tonight's festivities, Wiethoofd and CeeJaey tonight with me, I'm gonna have to shout out Manco.store. Thank you very much for supporting us throughout this tournament, throughout this entire month of pretty much streaming TF2 non-stop Nations Cup, as we're getting ready into the final game of ETF2L 6th Nation Cup of the Polish versus Russian teams playing in finals. Trying to do a nice segue, but I inevitably failed. CeeJaey, please do help me out, and please let me know, what are your predictions? What do you think is going to happen, at least on the first map?
First map, I'm going to give you a prediction for the entire tie, Jake. Russia are either going to win it 2-0. If Poland are going to win it, it has to go all the way to product. I cannot see them winning both Gully and Steel against Russia. I'll go into sort of Gullywash later. Both of these teams are extremely good on Gullywash, Jake. They've had some amazing results so far. Stan is really fast to mid as well. But do you want to take away what's happening on the mid fight?
Yeah, Trooper is slowly making his way behind the enemy team. There's a lot of players that he's cloaking. He knows that he's going to use the Your Eternal Reward. Takes down 2 players. Singing getting headshots by Finske, pretty much making his match there. But Polska, aka Poland, is actually doing some quality work. They're in background with TS, trying to stab Graba, but he's been found out by Turcho, and seems that middle point will belong to Poland fairly shortly as they're moving into the second point offense.
Yeah, Poland have had really good mid-fights that I've seen in the games that they've played. And you see how aggressive they're being. Tercio taking down Lightclaw on a really late kill there. Crime and Lightclaw both on 10-second respawns now. Pahan just respawning, but look where Grabber is. He has that 100% Uber in the bank. Poland have already captured second, and they'll be able to push Uber into last here with no resistance. There is no charge on Pahan, and Russia are going to have a really strong defense here to make sure that Poland don't get a quick cap.
Yeah, they're moving in quickly through the river right now. Stan is making sure there's no sticky traps lying around with that Quickie Bomb launcher. He's getting ready. The Uber charge is ready to go as well. Pahan only on 40%. Poker is below in the Barton spot. He's taking out 2 there. That's gonna slow down the Polish offense, but they're using Uber charge, picking up Crime on the way. Poker also going down, moving on to the point. Stan is having trouble there, but there's a lot of blue players currently sacrificing themselves on it, and Russia seems to be able to stabilize the situation with Pahan surviving as well. Graba down for the count. Now Trooper is waiting and lying in wait. He may be able to sneak in a back cap. This point is almost done, CeeJaey.
Yeah, Trooper is lurking, but it all depends on what Russia decides to do here. They're not pushing out too hard. They've got TS trying to get a bit of a backup situation there, but those 2 kills on Poland were so crucial. They took down Thazu the Scout and the Pyro Tercio. Tercio on Pyro, such good deniability, just pushing people off the point, and of course Scout has ×2 cap power, so that made it very difficult for Poland to convert that, and actually Russia are going to push out here, still with 100% Uber in the bank here, Jake, and they may be able to push this onto mid.
Yeah, grab only 30% so far. They're holding on to the choke for dear life, but there's not a lot of Russian players there. Most of them actually went through the big door, aka garage. They have an Uber ready to go. Kafka jumping in, forcing out Pahan. He's gonna go down for that, but they're moving in there. Graba actually dying to Finske, finding a headshot on the medic. Kafka dying now. This entire Polish defense is crumbling, and we are witnesses of that. Turcho, they're trying to sneak in a kill onto the medic, and Pahan actually finding some meat shots in his back from Thazu, so it's just a complete mess. And that Uber looked so promising. They got Graba down, they got so many players down, and then Polish respawns coming in, sacrificing themselves, taking down the medic, and now they're moving into the second point. None of the medics are on the battlefield. Graba just respawned. Could be anyone's.
Yeah, really well played by Stan there. During all of that chaos, he jumped behind Russia onto second. He had the pain train on, ×2 cap. So he was getting a ×2 cap onto second, and that meant that it drew some players from Russia back, and he actually took down somebody, and Meef was doing so much work trying to stop him from capping the point, and because it diverted, actually Poland's already on last here, but no, they're not going to get it, but because they split the attention, Jake, Poland are already in on last here with this huge ad.
Yeah, that adventure is gonna come in crucial. They're losing some players left and right, but they're going in dry. They're not worried about Ubers. They just need to get this point done, and it goes down towards Poland. First point of the game is for Poles. Unfortunately, Russians were unable to stop this offense, and that dry push by Poland was amazingly executed. They just went in, no fear. Poland's here, going into Russians' backyard and taking their point.
Yeah, Thazu definitely deserves the credit there for taking down Pahan during all of that chaos, and Stan for that attempted backup that sort of took the attention as we see the next mid-fight, and Lightclaw is the first casualty. Russia losing the first player again. It's going to be very difficult without a scout to get those cleanup kills later on, Jake, and they've taken down Barthes though in return. Barthes, a huge player, but Kavka with the kill onto Pahan. Poker just not being able to deny it, and it looks like this could be Poland's mid to lose.
Yeah, here is a Russian soldier there, taking so much damage in the Ingame team, taking down Doom, taking down Stan, finally getting destroyed there by Turcho. But he's done a lot of damage, only 3 players up for the Polish team. They have the advantage, but they don't have players, which means Russia will be able to take this middle point without too much of a contention from Poles. Kafka's still hiding in that connector there. He's gonna be looking for the medic bay, but he's seen a lot of red bodies. He's jumping for Pahan, but shield's out, and he survives. Unfortunately though, Graba just has his 100% Uber charge. Respawns are coming in from those shutters, and well, we'll see Poland probably being on the offensive yet again.
Not really sure about that play from Kavka. You know, when your team has the Uber advantage, he doesn't need to be going for a sack play like that. There's no way Pahan's going to get Uber in time, and it just means that there's so much space on the flank now. As Pahan's on the flank, as the Uber from Poland comes in through the choke. They've lost Utka, but they haven't managed to get many other kills here. And Poland have got the ground. There's a backup going on here, Jake. Oskar and Crime are trying to get him from behind, and it's really separating Poland. They're losing players. This is just coming down to a DM fest. Grabber goes down to the backstab. I'm not sure who's winning this, but Poland are capping mid.
Oh yeah, Pahan's lone health. He's gonna get finished though by Turcho. Sacrifice play by the Pyro, but he gets the job done. The middle point goes towards Poland, surprisingly. They get those forward spawns. There's a soldier there. Barthes is looking behind. He's a little bit scared for this. There's a lot of players, red players, still lurking behind. That's a dangerous situation if Graba's out of the spawn. He's not healing anybody yet, and neither is Pahan as he just respawned. Kafka moving into the garage door, scoping out the area, but there's not... And well, there's none of the red players currently in there. The Russians are holding quite passively. They don't want to risk it just yet, and they're allowing Poles to trickle in through the choke onto the second point right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's essentially an equal Uber situation here because it's only about 10%, which in Highlander isn't that big of a deal. And you see where Russia are playing in a really good position here. They're holding the high ground. Crime's on the floor, just keeping an eye on things. Big jump in from Kavka, gets a lot of damage onto Pahan, but he serves it away and manages to survive, but Crime might get caught out as Barthes is for some reason walked in through the choke. It's a melee battle and the sword comes out, samurais him up, but gets headshot in the end. Stingan, big pick here, and Poland might think, actually, even though we've lost our heavy, let's maybe try to pressure through big door.
Oh yeah, Barthes is known for those flank plays. They don't need him in push, so they just decide to go around currently. They're going through the choke point. There's not enough red players there to stop them from moving, and Lightclaw having a little bit of trouble with the mini center by Doom. But here come the Russian players with the counter pop to Graba. A lot of damage being exchanged, but not a lot of kills. Stan is a little bit of trouble there. Actually, DQZ manages to find Graba there and finishing off some of his friends as well. They're managing control of the big door right now. And they have their Pahan in tow, which means they will be able to capture middle point fairly shortly. There's only 4 players up for the Blues.
Yeah, this is a good opportunity for Russia. It's very similar to what we saw at the start of the round here, although Thazu is getting a couple of kills, takes down both of the assassin classes. So Russia aren't going to be able to get any insta-kills there. They will be able to capture the midpoint, almost certainly. 40% advantage, although Poland, but they want to contest here, Jake. They have Disad, but they want to get in. They've lost Stan. They have taken, and Pahan's getting wrangled. He's so weak. Has to get to the health pack, but Poland have come back in here. DQC pushes Barthes onto the floor, but Poland, they don't want to stop fighting, Jake.
Yeah, Pahan's straight up not having a good time, and neither is a Russian team. They're losing 1 point so far. 10 minutes have pretty much elapsed already on the clock. -2. Most of the blue players are currently in the big door. Barthes is behind. He's gonna fight Pahan, and he's gonna go down for it, but the damage has been done. No more medicinal man for the red team. Now they're just on the cleanup duty. Crime is alone with his engineer trying to hold up choke, but middle point will have to be given away thanks to the amazing heavy play. And now Graba sitting on a nice, cozy 100% advantage over Pahan. He's waiting for his teammates to rejoin and moving in through the big door right now, as most of the players will be able to use those tiny, narrow spaces to move in and maybe try to shoot some players in the back. Uber's coming out.
Yeah, managed to get a kill pick onto Doom here. Not that big of a deal, but Stan goes down to Poker, actually. So not that big of a deal. And Crime managed to take down Grabber. Poland are losing more people out of this Uber than they're gaining. And actually, Poker is trying to block the point. TS is standing on it, physically stopping Thazzy from getting anything done. So Poland haven't been able to get the cap. I say that TS is trying. He's standing on the top. And DQZ is going to kill him. But there's a backup going on.
Oh, that was so close. Trooper actually was there, and he was almost ready to get this one done, put it in the bag, but unfortunately, though, for the Polish team, he was cleaned out by the Russian team. They managed to reclaim second point with these as well. It's not players up anymore, and now Py-bun 80% onto him, only 40% onto Grab. A massive disadvantage for the Polish team. They're holding quite close in the choke. Finske is scoping in, looking for a lucky pick there, but seems that Poles are deciding not to be too aggressive. They know that this advantage is, well, not very favorable for them now. Stingen is just basically searching for some kills. He's moving through the big door. He's looking for at least one pick to help out the Polish team, but he's gonna get stabbed by TS. That's gonna equalize some things. Uber is gonna come out shortly by the Py-bun.
Yeah, they use it, and they're going to take down Barthis, but Barthis is staying really far forward. Tercio may get caught out here. He could get a kill. That'd be really good for Poland if they do, because they're at 90%. But Polska goes down. Poker and Bahan and Tercio manages to pick up Crime as well. A double stab from Chupa absolutely saves Poland there, and Grabber has 100%. He's only got 3 players for company here, Jake. But they have held on to the midpoint. Great serve from Grabber, gets forced by the mini sentry of all things, down to less than 20 HP. Poland's getting forced in a position they don't want to get forced there, but they are going to capture second here, Jake, and Russia back on their last again.
Yeah, Ubers are equal, so it was not a bad pop out of Grabber. He saved his life and he saved his team, so it's all good in my book. I think that Russians are holding quite close in the lobby area right now. Stan is having a little bit of a trouble keeping them away, but it seems that they've been able to push out Russians out of the lobby, get some more ground, prepare for the next push, and it seems that Grabber is willing to build the Uber charge with Thazu. They're slowly moving in. Neither medic really has the Uber charge, and Poland so far have been showing great promise into dry pushing into this. Oh, but they do lose Trooper and they do lose Stan. 2 down for the side of Blues, and they will have a little bit of trouble without that demonstration man to pushing into last. Second is being backed up by somebody, but Stingen finds a body shot onto Py-bun. He's dying himself, but it's all already done. The damage has been done. 90% onto Grabber. He just needs to wait for the respawns and push in for a 3 point.
Yeah, but Russia are farming Poland right now. They're getting so many kills. Grabber is going to have the charge, but there you go. He's getting spammed by Crime, and the second pipe lands onto Tercio. Poland losing so many players here. They lose Kavka as well. Russia are just saying, hey, we're going to push out. We know you've got an Uber advantage, but what are we going to do? Wait for you to push onto us? No, they go forward. They take down Stan. They take down Sting and Utka with the double kill there. And Poland are backing off. They're actually backing onto their second here, Jake. They don't really want to contest this until they've got more respawns.
Oh yeah, probably a smart idea. I mean, they've lost the second control of the second point. Barth is pretty much all by himself, but he grabs himself a health bag there. Finally getting sorted by Lightclaw and their choke, trying to equalize on the enemy heavy, but Uber is coming out. Grabber Thazu is just focusing on Poker. Poker is already just low on health, but he's done some damage as well. They're chasing the enemy players right now. Poland, Py-bun is there, and Trooper has seen him. He's waiting for a good opportunity to strike. He's gonna take down Meave. Oh, he whips him. Oh, he pokes him. He doesn't get it, but he had to sap. That's it. That's unfortunate for the spy main, as he doesn't get the kill, and he gets found out as a result. Now Py-bun, a 90% Uber charge, only 50 onto Grabber. That's just a tug of war the entire time around. Left, right, and center. It's Crime right now, low on health. He's gonna get Uber popped on, chase down the blue players away from their spawn here on the side. Here Utka actually taking down his counterpart Kafka, and there's a lot of exchanges coming down the way of Poland. 3 down for the side of Blues, but they're still holding quite aggressively.
They're trying to go for the back cap. They're going to go for the wraparound. There's so much time on the point. Somebody needs to stand on the point from Russia, otherwise Poland may be able to get the back cap. But no, they've got caught in no man's land. They kind of changed their mind. Grabber's got forced as well. And look where Lightclaw, DQZ, and Crime, they're going on to Poland second. They're going all the way. This could be absolutely a cascade
disaster.
of caps. It's disaster for Poland. They've just got caught. They're not going to catch up with them in lobby here, Jake. DQZ, TS is already trying to get on last. There's a couple of players waiting, and that may stop the run, but Grabber's gone down to Crime. TS is on the point. Poland have to stand on it. It's so close.
It's so close, yet not close enough. Now the rest of the Russian players are trickling in. Finske low on hell, but he's gonna be looking for the kill. Oh, he whiffs, stinging by an inch here. point is almost gone, but the thing is, like, they pushed them all the way through middle, onto the last, and now Russia is in complete control of the situation. Now Py-bun has rejoined them with a 100% Uber charge, Graba only on 20, he's known for the vaccinator, and he's running it right now. Uber's coming out, a lot of mayhem going on, but Trooper is working behind enemy lines, he's looking for those stabs, he's waiting, he's patient, he gets the kill, he gets another, and he gets a third one as well! With help of Barthas, they stop the Russian cap!
4 kills from Trooper there. He takes out nearly half of the Russian team. 3 backstabs, and then the Lotronja kill, and Russia, look how close that cap is from Russia. Just, if you think he didn't get even 1 or 2 of those kills, they may have been able to just strong arm the point, but they couldn't do it, and a huge advantage for Russia, wasted there, bleeding too many players outside of the ones in the Uber. Grab it with the advantage now, Jake, and they may want to push this into mid-dry.
Yeah, I mean, this is what Poland's known for. KritzKast already on the flank as well to help the team. Stan is aggressive, he's looking for Py-bun, but Py-bun, quick feet, just thinking right now, and Stan is in a lot of trouble. He's getting some heals from Graba, but he's being separated here. Crime getting finished off by Turcho. It looks very promising for the Polish team. They're chasing the enemies. Py-bun is about to be separated from the rest, but he's able to get away with his life with the rest of the team. They may be able to hold this, and he's safe and sound. Graba on 50%. Well, he's still running the vaccinator. He decided not to switch over to a regular medigun. He's still aggressively using the vaccinator. Me behind, he's gonna finish off Doom. What is this engineer main doing? The spy work, just leave it to the spies run as he gets finished off by Barthas. And now TS is waiting waiting in the shadow for a good opportunity for Graba's back to be exposed. I mean, this is only a vaccinator though, CeeJaey, so I'm not sure if it's a drop or not.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess on the logs it would be, but the thing is, the most important thing is he should be telling his team, hey, guys, Graba's still on Vaccinator here. Look at Py-bun, he has 100% Uber. He can go in there with his team, make them invincible, and they can potentially take down Graba. And TS probably saying, hey, he's got 1 bubble, 2 bubbles, as they're going to start to go in now. The Uber is used, Jake, and they're going to maybe get a ton of kills here. Graba's trying to get away, but he's in elbow. This is not looking good for Poland.
No, Poland is being pushed away. Stan managing to survive by Langpo picking up Stingen on the flank. Now he's trying to take down Kapka. He does get him. And now he's just rotating back to his team to get some more heals. But Graba does survive. He's still stuck on that vaccine. I'm not sure if it's favorable for the Polish team, but Russians know it, and they're abusing this situation right now. Abusing the fact that they have a much better Uber charge coming into the fight. Now Poland is pushed back all the way to second point already. They're waiting for those respawns to maybe hold, but they're not holding the choke, which means Russians will be able to take this one pretty much for free.
Yeah, I actually worry about Poland here because they're kind of half in, half out. They're not committed, but they're not already backed out, and the bubbles are being popped by Graba. He's only got 1 available now as another one comes in. Big one from Kafka, and DQZ is going to go down to that, but I'm not sure whether this is a good idea for Russia to push, or maybe they just wait till they get their charge shake. I mean, they have the advantage, just keep playing around that. Poland are the ones who have to be aggressive here.
Yeah, and they are. I mean, they're using those bubbles to help out Stan, take most of the damage coming their way. Russians only have 3 players holding the choke right now, Poker, Lightclaw, and Py-bun, but they're popping the Uber charge. Ooh, and they do manage to finish off Graba with the help of TS. A nice spy work by the spy main. They're pushing into the second point already. Stingen is there by himself. He can't do anything against this. And now it will probably go down to last point defense. There's 3 people trying to back-cap the middle point, Tazu and Doom, but they're going to be unable to do so. Actually, Tazu getting cleaned up and sending him into the respawn queue. Doom is going to follow fairly shortly, and Russians are knocking on the last point door.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that back-cap attempt was the right call there from those Polish players, because they sent, what, 2-3 players back, and it just meant that if Russia decided that they were going to continue the push all the way on to last, it would have been very hard for Poland to defend it, but they decided against it. Graba on the respawn has picked up the medigun now, so he's not stuck on Vaccinator anymore, and he's building with Tazi really hard, hitting himself with that sword to build at the maximum rate possible, because he knows he has a disadvantage. If Py-bun pushes 95% now, Russia may be able to catch people out, but they're being a bit slow about it, and maybe just waiting for a pick. No, they're going to go in through main here.
Oh, it's an early pop as well. They don't want to risk those sticky traps. A lot of people getting flashed by the red. They're losing a lot of players. Grab actually going to go down. Tazo as well. It's down to full of Barth is left and right and center going down our blue players. But Kafka is walking on the point trying to save it. A lot of players on the point right now. There's this just Py-bun Uber sewing the engineer. He gets a kill. But Turcho, the last alive player, gets it down. Finsky walking on the point. He's going to be able to finish one. The last man alive gets the point done. 1-1 is the first game here. CP, Gullywash, and we still have 11 minutes to go, CeeJaey.
11 minutes to go, Jake. 11 HP. That was the difference between Fuzzy capping that point and dying to the mini sentry. He didn't try shooting it. He didn't try avoiding it. He just barged straight through to the point. Wanted just throw my body on the point and get it, and he does get it. 11 HP was the only difference between Poland holding on to that point. Third mid fight, Jake. This is tense.
Yeah, here Crime actually doing quite a bit of work there on the backside of the Polish team. Seems that they've been pretty damaged, but Graba's working on keeping them alive. Here Trooper actually gonna catch a random, well, sticky to the face by Crime. Actually, TS finishing off Sting, and that's 2 down, 3 down from the side of Poles. They need to get out of the situation here. Oh, here comes Utka looking for Graba. He's gonna go, well, back where he came from, down this drop down. As Graba is barely alive, but he gets himself a sandwich, and seems that Poles have been forced out of the middle point here by Russians. Russians are in full control and full strength. They also have that very slight uber advantage, but they decided to go through the big door, with Finske just kind of opening up the kill feed here, looking through the sniper rifle, but he's not going to be able to find anything, as most of the Polish team is holding very closely. Here comes behind a soldier, forcing out the uber charge, CeeJaey, and the red uber is coming out as well.
Yeah, Utko there with the massive bomb, but Russia have dropped Crime. They have no demo man in this fight. They had the better Uber, they've lost DQZ as well. This is not a fight that Russia can win, and Pahan has to back off here. Russia, because of the fact they came through big door, had no pressure on the point whatsoever either, which means that Poland now are, you know, a little slimmer Uber advantage, except for the fact that Fuzzy with the headshot is going to take down Graba, and that means Pahan has the Uber advantage. Now Poland will probably capture mid, Jake, but Russia will be able to repush with those respawns.
Yeah, I mean, they're capping the point. Crime is walking in. He's trying to use the heals advantage that they have right now with Pahan alive. They do take down Barthas, and they do take down Kafka there, but the middle point has been capped, which means Poland will get those 4 respawns. Trooper is actually getting down Crime, and that's probably a good thing, but here Thazit coming behind. He's gonna get finished off by Glyclaw, just swatted like a fly. It seems that Russia will be able to reclaim this middle point, but not before the respawns have come in full force from the Polish team. They will be trying to take this back.
Yeah, Poland are actually very aggressive in the tricky. Look at Doom, he actually goes down there to Lightclaw. It's actually Pahan who takes down his sentry in the end. But Russia have the Uber advantage here, and Pahan wants to maybe take it through through Jake. I was going to say take it through Jake. Don't want any Ubers going through you, my friend. But yeah, Poland's doing the great job there. Really smart decision, knowing that they don't have the Uber, knowing that they have a huge disadvantage, just saying, hey, we're not going to fight it here, we're going to fight on last, we're going to get our charge. Look at Grab at 95%, Russia gets second, but Poland ready to push out here.
Oh yeah, they're picking up some kills. They lose Kafka though. Thazu walking in is gonna get claimed as well, but they do take down Crime. That's a big pick for Stan. They're popping the Uber charge, and just as Pahan using his to run away, Poland is using it to advance. They're gonna try to cap this second point. There's a lot of lingering red players on the battlefield. Lightclaw is attacking Graba, and he gets him as well, but Stan, well, a little bit too, well, slow on the draw here. Didn't manage to save his medic, which means Poland will be forced to go back to their last point, as the second point has not been reclaimed. Barthas also has fallen to some offense from the Russian players, and, well, Pahan has that slight advantage over Graba now. This is the time for hero plays. It's 1-1 on CP Gullywash. This is a pick of the Polish players. 8 minutes to go, CeeJaey, as Poland is yet again forced to defend their last point.
Yeah, this is the kind of situation where Russia will be saying, hey, what do we want to do? Do we want to push with this advantage, or do we want to just stay it out a little bit until there's less time, and then maybe push when there's no option for us to lose? You know, there's still an opportunity. If they fail this push, Poland can push them back. They can just sit back and wait for Poland to make a mistake. Where you see Thazu and people are trying to push out into lobby here, you know, they're trying to get aggressive, and the fact that Grab is on the vaccinator here does open things up for Poland maybe to make a play or two. So Russia look like they want to set up in big door here, Jake, and it's all going to be about who makes the first mistake.
Yeah, what Poland does with the vaccinator is they just kind of push into the enemy team if they don't have the Uber charge, use the advantage that the vaccinator gives, but TS now is pretty much relaying all the possible information to the Russian team. He's waiting for the good opportunity to get a sneak back cap. Graba is just moving in with the rest of the team. They're trying to get the force out of Pahan at the very least here. Poker getting actually a little bit aggressive in the shutter doors, but he decided not to step into the Lion's Den right now. DQZ there also quite aggressive, but there's not enough red players around them. They're just kind of waiting each other out. The problem with Vaccinator is that it's a very good clutch play, but if you're fighting against an Uber charge, you're gonna have a bad time, and that's where Russians are trying to capitalize on. They're moving in through river right now. They're preparing, and Utka is just slapping everybody with the whip to get them faster in there. Oh, random pipe with 2 pills there onto the Russian team by Poles, and they're moving with the Uber charge.
Yeah, they're in onto last hit, but DQZ and Lightclaw both gone down. They're not going to be able to get any pressure on the point once again, and there is a level 3 sentry stand, and Doom have actually gone down here, so Poland not looking too healthy either. TS is trying to get into the base of Grabber, doesn't manage to get the kill. Grabber is able to defend himself, but there's nobody left alive. Grabber's the only person alive. He backs out into the spawn, and Russia just throw all of the bodies they can onto the point. 2-1 now, Jake, and once again, for the second match in a row, Russia have come from a round down on Gullywash to take the lead. The question is, can they hold on to this lead?
Yeah, this is all in the ballpark of Poland of how they decide to do this. But Russia is very good at adapting to enemy strategy. They know how to read their moves, and they're definitely using it to their advantage right now. Crime is actually quite defensive right now. Kafka getting aggression. He's been waiting for this. They managed to finish off Turchu with ease with the help of Lightclaw. And now Polish team is kind of knocking on the door of the Russians. They're trying to pick up some more kills before they actually start capping this middle point. A lot of red bodies in around their choke right now. Here, Utka low on health. He's waiting for those heals from Py-bun, but Py-bun is not healing anybody else. TS actually getting sniped there by Stingen. Lightclaw also getting stabbed by Trooper. That's looking promising for Poland so far. They managed to finish off Kafka for the side of Poles, but Russians will be forced to fall back. And Py-bun also going down. Trooper is credit for that. He's gonna catch a pill for his trouble, and Crime is gonna catch a few bullets for his, which means Poland will be able to reclaim this middle point and get to the second immediately.
Yeah, this is looking exactly like the first round. A really interesting strategy from Poland there. They took a lot of ground very early on, and it looked like Russia were winning the mid-fight because they got early picks. But because Russia didn't take any of the space that was available to them, Poland had the better positioning, and therefore, as the fight went on, they slowly but surely won it. And now they have this huge Uber advantage, Jake. They may have lost Barthes. It's not too big of a deal. He will respawn on the forward spawn, ready for Poland to push in. It looks like they want to maybe take this through main.
Yeah, here Py-bun actually building over very fast, but they lose Finske. That's no sniper for attackers here. TS is behind Grabba right now. Grabba is turning around. He's deathly scared of that spy, but he's telling everybody, hey, they're coming in from river, and they do have the Uber charge. Grabba is going in aggressively. He's going to take a lot of damage for his trouble, but they're moving in from below with the Uber charge. Turch trying to push everybody away. Use this distraction, and it's working out so far. They do take down 3 B Poker. Crime down for the count. Bahan's a lot of trouble. A lot of blue players still alive. Stun, but what a reflect there by DQZ, taking down 2. Turchu is still alive, however. He's pushing DQZ, and just like that, a quick turnaround, equalizing his Poland 2-2 right now with 4 minutes left on the clock, CeeJaey.
Yeah, TS is trying to go for the back cap there, just on second, maybe pull some people back, but Poland knew as long as we keep throwing bodies in on last, we've got the advantage here. DQZ almost reclaiming it with that insane double reflect, and the sentry from Meath actually was the one that forced Grabber, so the early Uber didn't look too good for Poland, but in the end, they managed to get the bodies on the point, and 2-2 with, what, less than 4 minutes to go, Jake. This is going to be close, and look how aggressive Poland are being.
Oh yeah, man, look at this. Stanley's using Quick Bomb Launcher to clean up those stickies by Crime, and it's working out. Turch is low on health right now. He's trying to, just get some heals from Grabba, but Russians are very aggressive. They're just gonna claim this point like it's nothing. Not a lot of blue players to stop it from happening. They did lose a lot of players, however, and that's gonna definitely be a problem coming into this next mid-fight here. But Barthes, Stan, and Stingen deciding, well, you know, they did cap middle. Maybe it's time to go away, but not fast enough, as Lyko is gonna use that fast feet to take down Stingen, cleaned up by Stan right afterwards, and there's just a lot of Polish players lingering behind here. Kafka going behind, taking down Py-bun, and that is all she wrote for this middle point for Russians. They need to fall back. Grabba is down for the count as well, but Poles are getting their respawns faster, and they're gonna be able to use them in full force. Maybe I'm about to eat my words, CeeJaey.
Yeah, it's just pure chaos right now. It was Fuzzy who managed to get the snipe onto Grabber, and just instinctively, as a response, Kafka jumps in and gets a great 2 rockets onto the medic. Py-bun goes down, but because there was no medics in play, it just turned into a DM fest, and Russia, with those respawns, because they were the first ones to capture the midpoint, managed to win the fight. They're trying to get second here. Lightclaw is on the cap, but Poland, they don't want to give it up yet. They've got people up top, they've got people in lobby. Py-bun's gone down. Poker goes down to Trooper as well. He gets the 2K, Jake, and Poland may be on their last, but they at least have heals right now.
2 minutes left on the clock. That's not a lot of time, but Poland is on the defensive right now. They need to play this smart. If they lose the point right now, they're gonna be deep in a hole and fighting on enemy territory on CP Steel right now, as Gullywash has been their pick. They have only 2 minutes left on the clock to get something out of this. Grabba has that 100% Uber charge ready to go. He's just waiting for those teammates to heal up. Turcher is moving in with that Uber charge, and Grabba on the flank. Actually, Turcher gonna finish off Crime. I'm not sure what he was doing this far forward, but it seems that Russians are letting this one go. Finish off Utka as well onto the point here, and jumping R on the point are the blue players 5 times on it, as a lot of Russian players are in the big door, waiting for Poland to actually attack this one. Uber's coming out of blues to kind of secure this point, but they do lose Turcho, they do lose Stingen, and they do lose Thazu. Graba actually gonna go down as well to Finske, and that is a quick turnaround by the Russians. Second point has been reclaimed, but not for long. And those respawns are gonna come in. Crucial Py-bun now 100%. This is not looking very good for Poland.
No, this is one push. Russia have this one push to win this map, and the fact that they didn't get Py-bun there as he's going to go in through main, and Crime gets flashed, DQZ gets flashed, Crime is going straight towards the point, but he gets taken up by Barthis, who's hiding underneath. Lycor can't fight him, and Poland are getting the kills. The respawns come in, and they manage to clean up the point. It is actually going to be the amputator taunt to try and keep everybody alive on the point there. 43 seconds to go. Py-bun going down. Russia are going to have to do a dry push or something here in order to get around on the board, but it looks like Poland may have held on.
Yeah, Poland cannot attack this anymore. They know this, and they're stacking the point with everything they've got. They're using the Vaccinator again to make sure most of the players survive the next push. Well, Py-bun doesn't have enough time to build his Ubercharge anymore. It may be just basically a draw on this map. I'm not sure what the ruling is. I think we're gonna go into a golden cap. 15 minutes left of it. Whoever gets the first point will win this map. But right now, Poland is parking the bus. 8 seconds left on the clock. Pretty much entirety of the Russian team is dead for the count. So pretty much dead time. 1 second, and there you go. 30 seconds elapsed. 2-2, and you could not hope for a more equal game right now, CeeJaey. Both teams are just so equal. I cannot find any differences between right now, and that 15-minute golden cap could really go to anybody.
Yeah. I mean, considering Poland picked this map, I said, I think at the start, it was a bold pick by Poland because Russia beat Germany on this 4-1 in the semi-final. Germany definitely no pushovers themselves. So Russia have shown their strength on this map as well. But Poland picking it and showing that there's a reason they picked it, doing very well. That last cap that they got there, very well pushed in. But the big thing for me is that Poland pushing out from their last, they're not going to do that on the golden cap. You're not going to want to do that unless there's only a couple of minutes left and you have to get control of that midpoint. The push out from Poland didn't work. They didn't get Py-bun. And the bigger issue for Russia is the push into last with the Uberad didn't work out for them either. And it was just flashing issues. If Crime had got one more flash, he would have been able to take down Barthis on the point. But the fact that Barthis was on the point, he prevented any cap time whatsoever. And it just looked really tense. And basically, what I think the rules are, Jake, that we have 15 minutes now. The first team to win a round will win the golden cap. But if we get to the end of the 15 minutes, it's the team who's in control of the midpoint will win this map.
Yeah, as we're getting back into the game, golden cap of CP Gullywash, 30 minutes past, 15 minutes left to cap the first point. Whoever gets this one will win CP Gullywash. This is a tense situation already right out of the gate. And both teams are knocking on each other's heads. Kafka, very aggressive play, takes down Crime. That's a big pickup there. And he's falling back to get some more heals. Good play by the Polish soldier. Now they're moving around through their own choke. Stingen is overhealed and ready to go. They do take down Py-bun with a body shot, fully scoped by Stingen. This is looking very, very promising for Poland right now. They're picking players left and right, and they are ready to get this one and done.
Yeah, they have. Look how aggressive they're being. They've got ×2 on the point. Lightclaw's actually there. He may be able to block the midpoint, and actually DQZ's there as well. So Poland getting ahead of themselves here. Kafka's gone back to try and get the cap, but he's up against 2 Russian players, and this is not looking. This has gone all wrong for them. Poland haven't managed to capture the midpoint, and they will now, but they've had to bring their entire team back, and that's given time for Russia to get some sort of setup onto second and give more time for Py-bun to get closer to an Ubercharge. He's at 30% right now.
Yeah, here Graba, Barthis, and Stan are men on a mission. Stan with a plan, currently moving into the lower lobby. They've been spotted right now, but they have the Ubercharge. They may be able to cut off Russian players, but there's a sentry being built up, not fast enough. Turcho is making sure it goes down. Second point being slowly capped by the Polish team here. Grab 100%, 70 onto Py-bun. That advantage that they've managed to work themselves is slowly dwindling right now. Lightclaw is gonna find Graba there, missing one, getting a second one. Force coming out of Poland, finally finding Lightclaw with a nice airshot from Stan, but the Uber has been popped and the second point has not been capped, which means Poland cannot really do anything with this Ubercharge. Trooper is already behind, however. Nobody's there! Trooper's trying to back cap this, and it's just Russian players swarming the point. Stan is there trying to pick up the slack, and he's doing a lot of work, but the point is already halfway done, CeeJaey, and it just requires a sneeze from Poland to get it done and dusted.
Yeah, Poland actually have... Oh, they've forced the Uber ban, going down to about 10 HP there, and uses the Uber to keep him and his teammates alive, so they don't even have an Uber to push out here, Russia, and now Grabber has the advantage, so it's kind of back to square one for both sides. Grabber gets another opportunity to use an Uber more effectively on his team this time, and Russia have to regroup with their defenses and hope that they can withstand a disadvantage that is very, very big. Grabber's at 85%, and Poland are going to get ready to push here. This could seal out the golden cap.
This is just amazing plays coming out. Poland has everything they need to get this one done. Now they just need to execute it right. Look at this. Barth's Grabber moving from below. They haven't popped. They're popping now. Turcher is leading the charge. A lot of red players, they don't have the Uber charge. They're trying to swarm the point, but if there's a Pyro on it, you can't get on it. Barth's is just on an absolute killing streak, and he gets the point. Poland wins. CP Gullywash putting themselves off the map, putting themselves ahead, and Russia now have to win 1 point if they want to stay in this. CeeJaey, we finally seen this one done. Poland doing what they were destined to do.
Yeah, winning their map choice. They won't be happy that it's that is as close as a 3-2 golden cap, but they'll be happy they have one map on the board. They just need to win one more out of the next two, and they will be crowned champions. And Russia will be looking at this thinking, hey, we could have won this. We were 2-1 up. We somehow let that slip, and it's going to be, they have to start winning their maps now. They're the ones under pressure, and Poland going to be sitting in their seats, slightly more comfortable now. There's going to be hype. There's going to be morale boosts. They have not lost a map in the playoffs so far, other than the 4-2 loss on Upward against the USA in the group stages. Poland have not lost a map yet, and Russia are going to have to be the first team to do that if they're going to stop Poland sealing this out in 2 maps.
That was dangerously close, but we're gonna take a quick look at the logs that Wiethoofd has brought on the screen just to confirm our suspicions and our predictions for this game. Turcho actually 32 kills onto him, the Pyro main. Second up is Utka on 32 as well, the soldier flanker who's been doing quite a bit of work, getting Grabber down and making sure he pops before they get to actually get in an advantageous position. And Thazu Trooper Barth is pretty much a Polish show come in terms of kills. When you look at the death, CeeJaey as well, Trooper dying 33 times, but is kind of known and, well, expected from a spy main. Lightclaw being second, he's done quite a bit of work and he's gotten those meat shots in the back of Polish players, but at the same time, Poland has been extra aware of Lightclaw. They know what he can do. He's an amazing scout, and you really need to punish every single mistake he does to make sure that he doesn't take the advantage of CP Gullywash being such an open and easy map to navigate. In terms of Ubers, of course, medics here, Grabber didn't drop a single time, 38 vaccinated pushes, padding out those stats, 12 mediguns and 34,000 heals in total. Pahan slightly behind with 32, 13 pushes, and that one crucial drop here didn't quite help him and didn't help Russia. But now we're moving into the Russian territory. It's CP Steel, ladies and gentlemen. Map favored by Kitty's Bakken Bardami, map favored by Russian team. And the question is, can Poland use everything in their bank, everything in their pockets, just put out everything, all the chips on this map, and can they take over Russia, the absolute overlords of CP Steel? I
mean, I've always said that when Russians are born, they come out, and the first thing they do is they give him a map talk for CP Steel. They just say to him, this is how you do an AE push. This is just get it done. Russians, historically have been fantastic at Steel, going back all the way to the original WASP team, one of the greatest Russian teams to have played. Always very good. Every time the Premiership schedule went up, all the fixtures were released, nobody wanted to play Russia. Nobody wanted to play WASP on Steel. And that translated over to the national team as well, of course. And we've seen some fantastic times from Russians in the Nations Cup. But I will bring you back to a situation where the furthest Russia have ever got in the Nations Cup in the past, and that was back in 2015, where they got to the semi-finals and they were up against Sweden. Okay, and Russia won Sweden's map choice. Can't remember what it was, but they won their map choice, and then they had to go on to Steel. And they went one round up on Steel, and somehow, through just sheer grit and determination and probably a lot of tactical knowledge, Sweden came down from 1 round down on Steel and beat Russia 2-1, which is probably one of the more famous losses for Russia on this map. So as much as people always talk about Russia being the greatest Steel team, the greatest Steel nation, there is the possibility to beat them. Kitty did not win their fixture on Steel in the most recent Premiership season. So, you know, there are cracks in that armor, and Russia will definitely not be coming onto this map with a guaranteed win. Poland will be thinking, hey, you know, we didn't ban this because, you know, I assume they know how to play Steel pretty well, and it still could go either way.
It really could. And the thing that I know from the Polish team, because I really do keep tabs on how they're feeling, I'm kind of their moral compass, kind of their morale booster, and I always kind of try to keep them happy, supply them with some awesome hats, matching hats to play in officials. I know that basically the entire idea of Poland against Russia on this map is just to counter everything that Russia does. If Russia does something in a certain way, something schematic, Poland is going to counter that and work accordingly. If Russia changes something in their schematic and tries something different, they try to do that as well. As far as I know, Stingen went as far to as watching Kitty's old STV videos to see how they play and what they could have possibly think of CP Steel, because that was a map that Poland has expected them to pick. But before we get into this game, once again, welcome everybody to the stream. This is Poland versus Russia, ETF2L Nations Cup number 6. As we're going to the second map of tonight, CP Steel pick of the Russian team. First map, CP Gullywash, has gone down 3-2 after a strenuous battle, and Poland winning with the golden cap. 1 point is all it took to take over Russia. So if there's any testament of how close these both teams are, this is it. This is how close they are. They needed to go into a golden cap, which we haven't seen so far in this tournament yet, to get a win over Russia. So now, playing on their home turf, playing in their spawning grounds and breeding grounds of the Russian players, Russian TF2 players, Poland will try their best to take down Russians, because this is just a Goliath from east, the beast from the east, basically staring them down as they're gonna try to defend the first BA points.
Yeah, Poland are going to be in the blue, so they'll be attacking first. And for those of you slightly unfamiliar with Steel, you just need to capture the E point. You can do that at any time during the game. The E point is able to be capped from the word go. However, it's very hard to do it because it's hard to access, it's hard to get through all of the defenses. So what a lot of teams do is they capture the A point, and then they try to maybe go for the B point and then the C point, or they may just capture A and try to go round onto E and try to flank, which is known as an AE push. And there's a lot of different tactics you can do. It's very, very interesting. The more capture points you have as the attacking team, the easier it is to capture E. The time goes down quicker, the bridges extend, more players can get onto there. So it'll be interesting to see what Poland decide to do, because I know Russia are partial to the old AE push, but I'm not sure if Poland are going to be trying to go for those riskier strats too.
Ooh, Krem already putting a lot of damage here, CeeJaey, onto the Polish team right out of the gate, but Barthas is pressing on with Kafka. Their Turks are actually going to go fall down to a level 2 sentry by Meave. They're moving into the staircase. They're trying to take down Poker. Poker is just such a player up top that they do manage to take him down. They're going in. Barthas is getting blasted away to smithereens almost. Oh, but they do manage to finish off Utka, but not before Stan falls down. Kafka has to fall back, grab himself a health back. Barthas is in there, enjoying himself a sandwich, and there was a lot of players trying to take him down. Lyclaw's in there as well. Barthas does take down the scout, however, and that's 1, 2, 3 players down for the side of red, and it doesn't look too promising. They're getting ready. Grabel's already in the staircase, ready to push this with the Uber charge.
Yeah, the sentry has been sapped there, and it does go down. Lucas Stan comes in from behind and manages to get the force. Grabber has not had to use it yet, and Poland are going to get sandwiched here. Pahan is surely going to die. He's just stuck in no man's land. DQZ is going to come around from behind and maybe try to do another counter flank, but there is ×2 cap on the last point already. Thazu getting a lot of time on that E point. So you can see Russia are being stretched here. They have to defend B and they have to defend E at the same time, and I don't think they're going to be able to defend B any longer. They've had to back up and give this up and maybe start think about defending C instead.
Yeah, Thazu being an annoying little weasel, he managed to, well, chunk the E point about 3/4 down the way. He also is getting finished off by Lyclaw, who is on the cleanup duty. That means B point is forfeited by the Russian team. Graba now a nice 40% advantage over Pahan. Moving into the connector, securing it. There's a nice sticky trap there. It's gonna cleaned up by Barthas, moving in aggressively. They will probably go through the alphabet push, which means they're gonna press on to C. There's a lot of red players already set up there, but that means E point is pretty much uncontested by the red players here. Utka finding Taz on the side, and Trooper also getting burned down, which means 2 players less in that attack coming out. Grabba now 100%, Pahan only 50. They could push this if they wanted to, but I'm not sure if they are aware of this.
Oh, big stab from TS, takes down Stan. I think Poland are trying to get some pressure onto E. They've managed to take down the sentry, which normally guards E, and they're getting pressure on the E-spawn. Meath can't get out, so he can't actually rebuild a sentry. Lyclaw's trying to help him, but there we go. Thazu is on the spawn now. He's actually on the E point trying to get some cap time. Russia are losing a couple of plays. It seems right now that Russia aren't sure what to do because Poland are just in this BC connector, which can connect to both the C point and the E point. They can just decide to cap wherever they want. And I do think we've got to pause now as Tercio currently flying through the air, Jake, getting ready to attack that E point.
Majestic, and look how dapper he looks, dressed in those sweatpants and a hoodie and those nice flip-flops with socks. You couldn't go any more Polish than that. But it seems that, you know, Poland has used a lot of confusion to throw off that Russian defense, you know, taking down Poker up top at the stairs, and then basically DQZ trying to take down Barthas, and then Lyclaw following up, and Barthas just standing his ground and cleaning up those players, making sure that Russia doesn't have the manpower to hold this together. It kind of worked out for their favor, and now Poland kind of taking their time. They're not in a rush. They managed to cap 2 points very, very quickly. So now they kind of can bide their time, wait for an opportunity. And that's what you said before, CeeJaey, is that Russia is just unsure what's going on. They are waiting for a C push, but nobody is coming. They're waiting for E push, but nobody is coming. Where is the blue team? What is going on right now? And Poland is trying to use that confusion. As I know from those Discord strats, of course, I'm going to keep putting in tidbits because this is the last final game. I mean, nobody can do anything to me at this point. I mean, the Stinghand bans me from Discord. I don't care. It's okay. As Russians are kind of confused, using this confusion. Pahan on 100% right now, but they are missing 3 players here in that defense, and I'm not sure what they decide to do, but I think they're getting ready to kind of rotate very quickly into the connector should the need rise.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of, you could call it like confusing strats, but it could also be labeled as a bit of indecisiveness, because I know that they're getting people onto E and they're getting a lot of pressure, but the cap actually doesn't have any time on it at all at the moment. You know, it's all degraded back down to 0, and Pahan has managed to get an Uber charge back into play, so it's equal Ubers now, and if Russia regroup, they should be able to defend any sort of push fairly comfortably, because there's nothing really set up too much by Poland in terms of, you know, getting a teleporter in behind or a sentry into White Room or anything like that. So it'd be interesting to see what happens, because as we know, as you can see, the E point, it doesn't have any way of getting onto it unless you're able to jump across, which is kind of limited to Scout, Soldier, Demo, Pyro. You don't really want your Demo on there because it's very, very important on this map, and a Pyro can only do it if they can sort of, you know, use the detonator jump to get across there, or even with the Power Jack, as Tercio showcases as we are on pause now. They're going to get some time on the point here, Jake, so maybe they're just hard holding for an E-cap.
Yeah, and that's, well, that's something. I mean, they're holding it. Nobody is really attacking them. Tercio actually gonna go down, unfortunately, gonna get cleaned up by Poker there. Actually, Tercio exploding himself, pressing that suicide button. But that means E has been kind of pestered. Most of the Russian team has rotated, which means Stan is now locking down spawn, and most of the blue players are free, and will have free range on the C point. Gonna cap it fairly soon. Grabba still on 100%. Palhan still on 100%. DQZ is slowly sneaking in, looking for a Stan kill, but he pushes him straight into a health pack. And I don't think Russians will be able to stop this from getting capped. It's so close, it gets done. And now Grabba is rotating. They have the Uber charge ready, but he drops! There is a drop for the Polish team. Crime finds a pill onto the Polish medic, which now gives Pahan a full advantage, but the point has been capped by Poles and will allow them to regroup, but that's pretty much a minute off of their time.
Yeah, that's taken it's taken 3 minutes and 14 for the first 3 points, but now Russia may be able to mount some sort of defense here. They've got their combo in the White Room. Pahan has a charge. They're losing a lot of players though. Meath's gone down, Utka's gone down, Lyclaw's gone down. They've only got 4 players alive. They may have an Uber, but that's not going to be really too helpful if you don't have the bodies. As Tercio falls into the pit, that's 1 extra for the pit, and Poland having to regroup now, and it was Poland actually asking for a pause. This is where the pause happened.
Oh!
And Pahan drops.
Oh, that's crucial play. Trooper using that Eternal Word to take down the Russian medic, and that's gonna suck for the Russians. They do manage to, well, finish off TS. They're trying to equalize the standings, but Graba on 70%, and Pahan is nowhere to be seen. Russians are really angry right now. D and E point are being pressured at the same time. Most of the respawns from the red team are coming in onto D, and D seems to be the priority for the Polish team. Locking down those spawns for to E is very crucial right now. They do manage to finish this one off. Grab his low on health, but he's gonna grab himself a health back, no pun intended. And now 100% to Graba, 25 onto Pahan. Most of blue players are currently swarming onto the E point, and red team have a major task in front of them. Turch is gonna get claimed by the pit as the first kill here, but 3 are down on the side of red, and they don't have the Uber charge, so that's crucial as it's coming out from blues.
Yeah, they're going to just try to push Russia back while the weaker players try and get the cap time. Poker actually is going to fight, but not win the fight against Stan. Kavka getting credit for the kill. It slowed down at the cap a little bit. With time 6, only 2 players left up for Russia, make that 1. Lightclaw runs onto the point, maybe just slow it down a little bit. But Poland are going to capture this point. It's going to be a fairly fast time. Russia do not have the respawns there that are going to be able to get it done. 5:23 is a fairly fast time. I'd say anything under 6 minutes is erring on the side of fast. So Russia have a lot of work to do in this first round of their map choice.
Very strong standing from Poland. Russia kind of didn't expect this sort of aggression coming out of Polish Husaria. They just went in straight, they knew what they wanted, and they just claimed it. Russians, they did have their standard holds. They kind of wanted and tried to do for the standard thing, but the amount of confusion generated from that weird, connector strategy where they sort of pestered E, but they stayed in connector and they didn't really want to do much and just waited out the Russians to make the first move. Kind of worked out in their favor. 5 minutes and 23 seconds is a very, very good time right now. Russians are currently reconnecting. The last player is coming in online. I believe that was the reason for the pause, and also a KritzKast went out of Graba to set up those crit stickies. But here's the thing, CeeJaey. 5 minutes and 23 seconds, 10 seconds left on the clock for the setup time. If you decide to put all your cards onto E point, you pretty much have to commit. And if you commit and Poland sees this and telegraphs this, they can set up the entire defense on E and not really worry about any other points and kind of take it for free, stop Russians dead in their tracks, and get themselves the first point onto CP Steel, putting into a match point.
Yeah, that is a possible thing to do, but the big issue is if you just hard hold E and you give up all the other points, then you're locking down your own spawns, and 5 minutes is actually a fairly long time. You ever just sat in a place for 5 minutes and waited? You got to think, actually, you can actually push each one of these points in 40 odd seconds, so who knows what could happen. The fastest time I've seen on CP Steel, Jake, was less than a minute. Anything is possible, but Poker goes down to the quickies of Stan, and Poland probably going to hold this for a little bit longer now.
Graba holding quite aggressively there. He has a, dispenser right next to him. Doom still has that sentry up and running. Barth is in the staircase, looking pretty promising. They do lose Kafka though to Utka. And now Barth is having a little bit of trouble holding it all by himself, but he does take down Prime, and that's a good pickup. He gets an arrow into his face from his medic as well, but he's low on health again, and Graba needs to work on that heavy weapons go, which means he cannot heal Stan, who is now taking brunt of the damage. A lot of Russian players are now trickling in through the B connector. There is Utka attacking Barth, but Barth is just unwilling to let this one go. Finally, Kafka, however, he's respawning, he's looking for Pahan, but he's gonna get cleaned up, surely. He does not, but there's so many players, blue players up there, and seems that we do have another pause or a lag coming out of the Russians, but so far so good for Poles, but it seems that Russians are ready to strike them down.
Yeah, they've got a couple of picks. I mean, they killed Tercio, which is the Pyro, which makes me wonder why they didn't decide to push earlier. Pyro, in Highlander at least, can do a lot of damage, but its most important role is area denial. You can just air blast people away, keep them into a certain area, and just focus damage on them. But without Tercio alive, Russia could potentially have just pushed through here. You see DQZ and Poker, they're in the choke area, they're not getting pressured. However, the majority of the combo of Russia want to push on the high ground. TS is on top of the roof, ready to sap the sentry, so we could see, culmination of a lot of coordination happening on this point. But if Poland's defend it well, then it's not going to be working out, because it is essentially equal Ubers here, Jake. Both medics have 100%. But let's not forget, another thing we've not talked about on Steel is the fact the defending team gets really bad respawns.
Yeah.
As the attacking team if you cap more points, your respawns get faster, the enemy team gets slower. So if you capture up until the C point, as the blue team, you get instant respawns. With the defending team, you get 20 to 25 seconds, which can be crucial, which is why sometimes we see it take a while for the first couple of points, but after that, it becomes a bit of an avalanche or a waterfall or a snowball of just points dropping down. But that remains to be seen. Russia still have that first hurdle. They still have the B point to try and deal with.
Yeah, but like you telegraphed yourself perfectly, I mean, it's going to be telegraphed by Russian as well. TS is about to stop the sentry by Doom. Coming into this push is Russia. They have Ubercharge, they have height advantage. Py-bun doesn't need to drop down if he doesn't want to, and Graba doesn't really have much of a choice. He's wide open there, and there's not a lot of room to hide. However, he's hugging that dispenser, which means it will tank some damage at the very least, and help him get that Uber a little bit better than otherwise it would. But I don't think the Poles are kind of aware of this happening. Uber's coming out, however, as on pause happens as well. Graba is popping these Uber charge without waiting too much. TS managing to take down the sentry, and me, what a cheeky play there. He's building up that sentry gun, but now is a cleanup time for both teams. Both teams running out of Uber charge, and it seems that Russians will take this one decisively without dropping a single player. They managed to take down the entire defense and pretty much wiping the board with Polish players.
Yeah, Graba has survived, but Stingan is a very late death there, and that may mean free passage through the BC connector here, Jake. You see, Crime already wants to go through BC and maybe just take this all the way through to C and just put so much pressure onto Poland.
Your Kafka actually holding by himself. He decides to fall back to the health pack, but most of the Polish players are holding on to C right now. Grava's there, Turcho, Stan, and the pack, and now Russians Poker and TS moving in, scoping out the area. Poker's going to go down, actually. It's too much damage to handle with this big man, big heavy weapons guy. And Crime is rotating back. They're still holding the connector, Russians, and Py-bun's ready to go with the Uber charge as well. Grava doesn't have his, but Bartis is going in with Stan. They are not waiting around. They're just cleaning up shop right now, and they're chasing up the rest of the players. Py-bun somehow survives this one, but look how far he had to run away, and that's gonna buy Poland a lot of time, and that Uber charge is also ready to pop at any time. The ground that they fought for so hard is definitely going to help them coming into the CE defense.
Yeah, Kavka there was running the battalion's backup. He pops the backup, which means your entire team who are playing close to you take less damage. So it allowed Poland to just push through there, in through the choke, and get a ton of kills. Fahan didn't want to use that Uber, even though he had a bit of an advantage, because, you know, it would have been a bit of a waste. But actually, Poland's dropping a few players here. Kavka's gone down, Stingan's gone down. Ubers are going to be exchanged. Poker on the high ground. Barth is kind of trying to chase down Fahan here. Poker's trying to help him, and will manage to get the kill, and it's not looking too healthy for Poland right now. They've got 4 players down, and some of their players are weak. Russia are going to capture C.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's a sentry by Meath, and there's so many blue bodies on the point. I don't think Poland can do anything against that, but there's only 1 minute and 40 seconds to go. Last E point takes about 45 seconds with ×3 to get capped, and now Poland's getting the respawns, but they're losing players just as fast as they're coming back into the action. Losing Tazo and Trooper there on the way out. They decide, okay, well, this is looking a little bit sketchy. We need to fall back. E-Point's currently being pestered by some Russian players here. Lyclo is working on it. Those bridges are being extended, which means most of the class, actually all of the classes, will be able to step on it. E-Point's getting hard capped. There is, well, D-Point is pretty much gonna be abandoned at this point, and now Polish team is moving through lobby. They're using this time that E-Point takes to cap to move in from around the point, take down DQZ, looking for some more Ubers coming out of the red team. Py-bun hasn't used his, but now he's using it to save the team. Lyclo's trying to follow up the team, gonna get his aim onto Stan, but unable to finish him off. The E-Point has been stopped as a result of that. Poland is just trying to stop them, but it's just too many blue bodies, but they're managing to get this one done without the help of Ubers. They are stopping the blue players here. Russians, Crime, Poker, Finsky, and TS don't have much time left to get this one done and dusted.
Yeah, it's Kavka and Kavka and Barth is kind of coming in from different angles. Got about 2 or 3 kills each, which just stopped the cap flat. And Stan going down there is going to be a big issue, but Russia need to get people on the cap now. Like you said, it takes a certain amount of time to get the cap, so it doesn't matter how many players they kill now, they need bodies on the point, and I don't think they're going to have enough time. There's a mini sentry, finally gets stabbed. Chupa is on the point, maybe can buy some more time. There's about 10 seconds left to go. Time 7 on the cap. Poland only have 2 players left alive. I don't think they'll be able to block it. Kavka gets 2. He's slowing down the cap. 5 seconds to go. Grabber falls into the pit. I don't think it's going to be enough. They're not going to have enough time. It's so close. No,
there
Poland.
you go.
managed to get it probably 5 more seconds there, and Russia would definitely have got that cap. But Poland are going to hold out and take the first round, and it is indeed match point.
This is a match point, and I do believe the teams are going to switch servers. I'm not sure what the reason for that is. I'm pretty sure that Russians are just unhappy with the choice right now, but they get every single right to be pretty upset about the result. They did lose barely onto CP Gullywash. They lost barely on CP Steel with their first point, and you cannot get any closer than this. 5 seconds more, like you said, and Russia would have taken this one in the bag, putting themselves on the map, putting themselves closer to that third decider map and the final title. But Poland so far using everything in their power to stop that from happening. Both teams, again, like I said it a million times today, but they're just so close together to just kind of, it's hard to decide and hard to predict who's gonna take this one. But so far Poland has that 1 inch, not even an inch, 1 millimeter more than Russia right now. And Russia just, I'm not sure what they can do at this. They're doing everything right, CeeJaey. They're doing everything right, everything in the book. They're trying to counteract what Poles are doing, but every single time it's just that millimeter not enough.
I mean, it is. I mean, that kind of that flank almost from Kavka in BC Connector took down a couple of players. Barthis took down a couple of more coming in from White Room. So that fight was lost by Russia. They just weren't able to block the areas. But late on, Kavka managed to get 2 kills on the point, and do make you think, you know, that was about 15 seconds to go. So if those 2 players had been alive, they may have had the extra cap time to actually get the cap. So it's little things like that, exactly like you said, a millimeter here or there could be the difference. And at the moment, Poland are edging it. And I mean, we can take a look at the logs for this round. If my browser is going to work, but I don't think that tells all the story.
No.
Jacob, Barthis, Barthis and Kavka, 16 and 12 at the top there. Big KADs for the pair of them. Grabber only dying once. So those are the things that jump out to me straight away.
Yeah, Barthis Kavka doing a lot of work on the flank, which is kind of funny because Barthis is a heavy weapons guy, so you can't really think about the flank. But Barthis is known throughout this tournament for those entire 30 days to be the flank kind of heavy, the new style of heavy that is emerging, and he's the prime example of that. Then Utkan Crime kind of following through 12 and 10 kills, but not a lot of kills considering how much carnage was going on 24/7 here. Pahan and Graba in terms of heals, Pahan behind 2,000 yet again, both medics with 1 drop each. And then that's also another important stat. Trooper, only 9 kills, 13 deaths. This time around, Trooper has been kind of stopped more times than on CP Gullywash. I think Russians are learning from their mistakes, but this is their last stop. This is the last point where they can make any mistakes, and they can learn from them. So as Russians, as a Russian national team, what can you do to take down Poland? Because you're so close every single time, and you always lack that millimeter to get this one done, to pull it forward, to pull it towards your own first place medal in ETF2L Nations Cup. What can you do as Russia?
You just got to look at yourselves and say, hey, we've not made any major mistakes, but the mistakes we have made, let's not do them again. You know, let's learn from that. Let's just play. The worst thing they can do right now is let their heads drop and get disheartened. You know, the worst thing they can do is start arguing with each other, getting tilted and getting frustrated. Because like you said, it has been close and that can be annoying. However, they're not getting rolled. You know, they're still in this game. It's not over until all 3 maps have been played. And we know that they can come back from these. You know, in the semi-final between Russia and Germany, Russia lost the first map 3-2 on product. Again, very, very close. They lost the first round of the second map, but they came back and won the second map. On the third map, they went 1 round down on Badwater after being so close. We're talking, again, 5 to 10 seconds, and they would have won that round. But they came back and they won the next 2 rounds in absolute dominating fashion. So they are not down now. They have the capability to win, and we know that they have the mental fortitude to be in a situation where they are on the brink of being knocked out, but they can win. And they've just got to keep their heads here. Poland, likewise, need to remain calm. If they get too excited, start getting a little bit too cocky, they start to make mistakes. But at the same time, they can't, you know, underestimate Russia and think, hey, if we just keep doing what we're doing, we'll win, because Russia are going to adapt.
Yeah, Russia is a nation of fighters, and we all know that. I haven't seen a single time Russia play and kind of stop playing throughout the game. You know, if you lose as Russian team, you always see them come back from this. They always find that second win off of a loss. They know how to learn from their mistakes. But the problem is, Poland is very similar in that aspect. They know how to come back from certain death. You know, they fought against England 2-1 each map. They did manage to win 6-0 in those quarterfinals, but in the end, they managed to win this one. They came back after map. So those are two very similar countries with similar playstyles, similar kind of ideas and thinking processes to attack each map, which makes it extremely difficult to kind of equalize this map. But we're going back into this. This is the match point of CP Steel between Russia and Poland. Poland is on the brink of a win. Russia is on the brink of a loss. This is not over yet, however. We know Russia can definitely take this one if they really put their backs and minds to it. At the same time, Poland cannot really sit on the laurels. They cannot just wait around and get cocky about their current score because they're winning, but that win is pretty much a Pyrrhic victory. They're winning, but at such high cost, it could really be either way. So far, they've been lucky, but can they be lucky any longer? We shall see soon as the game is about to start again.
Yep, and in the second round, the teams we play this sort of A-B-B-A style. So now Russia will be attacking first this round. They'll be the ones in the blue setting the time, with Poland in the red defending first, and they'll try to beat the time set by Russia, which can play a difference. Some teams like to attack first, some teams prefer to defend first. And if we do go to a third round on this map, then it'll be the team with the fastest attacking time that will decide. We do see the crits again from Stan, just putting them up on the A point, which can kill a lot of people if they decide to go for an AE push here. Russia, they may get caught out and drop a couple of players, or even an Uber. But I mean, what are you expecting out of here, Russia, Jake? Do you think they're going to go for an AE? Do you think they're going to really just put the pressure on, or do you think they're just going to do the same as they did in the previous round?
I think they're going to go for AE push. They need a hero play. They need to set up a very good time for Poland. Very difficult to beat as well. If they manage to get a quick time, Poland will have no other choice but attack AE as well. And that can basically put Russian minds at ease, and they can just defend E, focus E defense, and don't worry about any other points. But the gates are down, ladies and gentlemen. A point is being capped without too much of a defense anyway, and now Poker is slowly making his way forward. There's Turcha there, Kafka, Barthes as well, to make sure the Poker does not get through. He's going to enjoy himself as Travinsky is hard scoping in, but he's going to get cleaned up by Kafka without too much of a problem. However, Kafka is going to score a headshot onto himself as well. So kind of an exchange going on. Crime also went down in that exchange. Their Poker's gonna get pestered from behind by Turcho, using the distraction. So far, so good for Polish team, but Russians are getting the respawns and they're getting ready to push this point.
Yeah, and again, we're in a similar situation to where we were before. Do Russia try to go for some suicides? Nothing's worked out so far, and if they go in for an exchange, it could do something there. And then Barthes is taking the teleporter here, and he's taken a lot of damage. The teleporter's gone down, and he needs Kafka and Tercia to help him, but they lose Barthes. They lose Kafka, and Tercia's on the high ground. He may get taken down by Poker as well, so some decent picks here for Russia, as well as Stingen going down. So Russia take down the sentry. They're in a brilliant position here, and Poland under pressure, having to use their Uber.
Yeah, Turcha actually using the remaining of the Uber to take down Crime, but Uber has not been popped by Bahan. He's hoarding it, and that's a good play there out of the Russian medic. They're going to be able to cap B without too much of a defense. However, with the Uber charge ready to go at any given time, Kafka's trying to get this one done, but amazing reflex out of DQZ, blasting Kafka way back to spawn where he came from. Barthes is in the windows trying to stop blue players from swarming the point here, but Neef is gonna go and finish off the point with the rest of his friends, and Pahan still hoarding that Uber charge, which means Graba is already on 50%. The defense is still holding on. Doom's building up another sentry, and Barthes is still in the window, but the point's gonna get finished off, and that is the cue for the red team to exit stage left.
Poland are stuck. Oh no, they managed to get out there. I mean, they could have used an Uber there and caught Poland. The thing is, when you capture the B point, the B spawn door gets locked. So you can't get in as the defending team, and there were 4 players for Poland in the B spawn area, and I'm not sure why they were still in. We've got equal Ubers now, so Poland have actually bought themselves a lot of time, but it was a risky play by them. Very, very risky indeed. And Russia just being a little bit hesitant with their Uber pushing maybe cost them the ability to just wipe Poland there.
Yeah, there's a lot of focus on Kafka right now, and blasting away is Stan with Doom there. Doom is building up a level 3 sentry onto C point. TS is there to kind of relay all the information, wait for the opportunity to strike. Graba's holding in the connector the rest of the team, and now a Russian national team haven't popped their Ubercharge yet this game. They're holding quite aggressively, getting ready to get this one forced. Prime is also edging forward. He's finding Graba. He's gonna get the force out. Now Turcho is charging in. He's done a lot of work on CP Gullywash. He's trying to repeat that. They're gonna take down Crime. Py-bun's going down as well somewhere, somehow on the way. He's dropping the Ubercharge, which means now Poland, with a majority of the players alive and healthy, they're gonna maintain control of the connector.
Yeah, it was Chupa just hiding in the BC connector, got the backstab onto Py-bun, getting the drop. So that Uber still not coming out of Russia, not used one so far on this round. Doom's gone down though to Oka, so that means no sentry for a while if he gets destroyed. And Russia need to regroup there. I mean, that's a big drop coming out of them. Big plays by Poland. And again, it's like an individual play that helps them get gets the advantage on this third point.
Yeah, only 20%, however. That's not a lot to work with. They lost Barthas and Doom. That's gonna slow them down a little bit. Oh, here Trooper trying to get a stab, but he's gonna get found out by the Pyromane, and not much harm has been done. And now Graba is locked down in the connector. Poker is edging his way forward. He's trying to take down. Oh, Graba losing Sting in the back, and now he just has Stan to help. They're looking to stop this point from getting capped. Graba is trying to share this wealth off the Ubercharge, but now Py-bun has his ready to go, and he's coming out. Graba's gonna go down. Thasu to follow there. And that is looking disastrous for the Polish team, as CeeJaey is about to be finished off by Russian players. They're looking incredibly strong this round.
Yeah, Kafka gets a couple of kills there, including one onto Py-bun. Russia look like they're slightly edging this fight. Only 2 left alive for Poland. Mief definitely the MVP of that exchange, although Poland's still fighting, still not letting that C point go down. Thazu's going to come in now. Not sure if this is a wise decision. Doom is caught in behind, and again, that means there's going to be no sentry for them on E. But it is a slightly slower time, 4:27 in total for the third point alone. So Russia need to win in the next sort of minute or two to make it a decent time. But Mief there, getting so much cap time down, getting the med pick, and then getting flashed in the Uber to help with the fragging. Poland need to buy some more time like they did in the first round here, Jake.
Oh yeah, Poland is actually favoring that. Oh, well, lobby push here. TS was hiding there. Graba didn't notice him, but Turcho did and managed to finish off the Russian spy. Now Graba and his friends are moving in through the lobby for the white room area. Barthas is leading the charge. A lot of damage being exchanged. E-point has been almost done there, but they do lose Py-bun there. And thanks to Kafka, nice work from behind with the black box, finishing off the entire point. E-point is halfway there, but they are not still living on a prayer. They still need to get this one done. Finally, seems that the situation has been solved by the Polish team. They do have 100% and they have controlled the white room, which is very important when you're holding DE.
Yeah, this is the place where teams want to set themselves up. Poland have the advantage, and they can block the D point, they can block the E point from many different angles, and they usually have their flank towards sort of the BC area. As Graba drops a body shot from Fuzz, he's going to take him down, and that's a huge opening for Russia now. That is the door is unlocked, Jake, for Russia to see this round out, but can the rest of the players step up to the plate and actually get it done?
The Berlin Wall is down, ladies and gentlemen. Now Poland is struggling. They lose Sting, and Barthas is pretty much without heals, and so is Kafka. The buff banner, the battalion's backup is coming out. They really need to do something with this, and they might be the saving grace. 5 times on the point already. Poker is holding the spawn right now. The rest of the team, Py-bun has the Ubercharge. They're popping in to make sure. Ooh, Poker getting blown away. He's not going to be useful any longer, but that battalion's backup is really helping out. Here, Turcho is locking down Crime alone. 1v1. They're going to take him down. The E-point has not been finished off. Py-bun going down as well. Shields out did not work out. And now E-point still being pestered by Russians, but Vaccinator's coming out of Graba again. That clutch play out of the Polish medic, stabilizing the situation. TS there finally getting found out by Stan. You can call him wall hacked, but, well, come on, man. Come on, there's a TS there. He's invisible, he's not incorporeal.
Yeah, Russia, again, just deciding, because of that Vaccinator plays, Crime falls into the pit, and also, oh wow, Py-bun goes down to Tercio. Lots of frags coming in from both sides, and I do think Russia may have edged this just on the respawns alone, but Poland's still fighting another drop. Well, I mean, does it count as a drop as a Vaccinator drop? Fuzzkey gets the headshot onto Graba, gets one onto Doom as well. 3 alive now for Poland, but this is very familiar to what we saw earlier on, and Poland have been holding on.
Yeah, Russians are now knocking on the door. Oh, but they do lose Crime. Kafka is trying to save the situation, but he's gonna go and fall. Clumsy, painful death. That's so close to getting finished off by Russians. Poker, Mief on the point. Utka is there as well, but Tasso trying to get it stopped. So many players. Turcho Hero Play is gonna fall down himself, but he does take down Py-bun, TS, Utka, Poker, all going down, finished off the point. This is do or die for a Russian team. They've set their mind onto capping E. They've wasted so much time on it, and every single time Poland yet again that millimeter forward, they millimeter ahead. They're taking this one down, and Graba still holding on that vaccinator, holding out with Stan in that DE connector, and the point is already down to half. Now Russians need to make a very important decision. Do they keep wasting lives on that E point, or do they just go for D and go for an easy push?
I mean, it doesn't make it that much easier. The issue with Russia right now is that when they have control of the E point area, they're putting everybody on the point. They want as much cap time as possible, but no one's locking down the entrances. No one's locking down the areas where the Polish defense is coming through. And Poland are just walking in for free. They're just walking in from that E side spawn and just killing the people on the point. They need to get the big hitters. They need to get Poker. They need to get Crime. They need to get DQZ onto the areas and deny the repush from Poland, because at the moment, it's all too easy for them.
Yeah, your Crime actually going from behind. He finally decided to go through the right room. Most of the Polish players are holding in there. And this was the time for Russians to actually realize this, but Crime is gonna get picked up. Maybe, yeah, just with Poker as well. Barthes is doing some major work behind, but the E point is slowly getting cammed. That Vaccinator is ready to go again and is being shared very generously. Russians are just swarming the point yet again. Py-bun's holding in that connector, but again, they're getting just absolutely scared away by the heavy weapons guy of their own nationality. Barthes is doing so much work on the point, and he's pretty much immortal with that vaccinator, but the problem with vaccinators, it doesn't protect against stabs, and TS goes from behind, takes down Graba, takes down Barthes, and now E is so close to getting capped. It's so distant close. So much hero play, but Stan is finishing off. Py-bun is alone. Nobody else at the point, and the blue players are swarming. They're gonna finishing it off now, but Stan, you gotta give this to this man. He almost saved the point from certain loss, but they managed to bleed out that clock by about 4 minutes, making the time 9.5. Now Poland has a lot of time to work with, CeeJaey. Can they do this? Can they take down the Russian behemoth, the absolute champions of CP Steel?
They could do it in 2 rounds here. They could make me eat my words. I didn't think they would be able to win both Gully and Steel against Russia, but, you know, it looks like they could do it here. Stan doing so much work, but again, you see Stan was able to walk in for free because Russia just want to put everybody on the point. They want to have that ×7 going. You don't need that much. Get ×4, even get ×5 maybe, but put 1 or 2 people watching the doorways, and they're not doing that. If Poland do that here, then, you know, then they're going to be in for a similar sort of time. Russia need to adapt and defend extremely hard here, and Poland have so much room for maneuver. They can try a couple of AE pushes and then wrap around and do some different things. They've got a lot of time to experiment, and they are half a round away from winning the Nations Cup.
This is close. This is close, CeeJaey. I'm sweating so hard right now. I am not sure who can take this one. Russians are still in this, and they're showing this. Their ferocity is just insane. TS already on that 8 points. So many blue players already. It may be what you just said. Graba is already on A. They decided to go AE immediately, get this one done. They don't want to waste too much time, as apparently the information that I've gotten is that Stan has to go at 11 o'clock, which is in half an hour. They don't have that much time to waste, and they want to make most use of it. They want to show Russians what they can do. Their power, their Polish might is moving in, but Crime takes down 4!
Oh my, he takes out 4 plus the sentry, Jake. That is a huge trap. And then there's the binds coming out in chat. The BM is going to be put in there just to really grind home what happened there. The drop from Graba, that is absolutely huge, and that is going to make Russia feel a little bit more comfortable with themselves, slow things down, and that's about, what, 45 seconds wasted there by Poland. There's not much they can do here other than maybe go for a dry push or go for some suicides.
I have no words, CeeJaey. I'm just sitting with my hands on my face because I have no idea what to say. That was perfectly executed by Crime, and that's going to definitely show Poles that they are not pushovers, Russia. They know what they're doing, but E point is now being pestered by Tazu. They need to pick themselves up after this. They have a lot of time to work with. Py-bun has 100%. Tazu is just working his way out of E point, halfway done already, and there's nobody from Red Team to actually get it stopped. Crime now already rotating and putting some sticks on it to stop it from happening, but now there is a counter pop. You're actually, well, push push from the B connector, using that distraction. Graba with the vaccinator again. He decided to run with it 24/7, capping B and E at the same time. Most of the Brett team is down for the count, and Py-bun, but while he managed to survive, most of the team is now locked down in spawn.
Yeah, but actually, Russia trying to block the B point, but they need to block the E point. There's a lot of cap time, but I think they are going to do it. The big issue there is Grabber is on the vaccinator and somehow managed to win the fight for Poland with the vaccinator. Py-bun had a full Uber, and everyone on Russia died, and he used the Uber and had to run away. Russia have clawed this back. Grabber's gone down. So again, you know, they've got half the cap time on both B and E. They have to decide what they're going to do here. Are they going to go back to E and hope their flank can hold E? Barthes is alone on B at the moment. Crime's going to jump forward. So very weak, 9 HP. He's going to need a nice arrow from his medic there. But I think Russia are going to go back and, you know, less than 7 minutes to go. There's still so much time for Poland to work with.
Yeah, a lot of time to work with at the same time. No time at all. But they do have a lot of rounds spare. Should they lose this one, they're still kind of safe and sound. However, Russians don't really have much of a choice. Conch coming out of Utke there up top on the staircase, but getting pushed away by Stan and Turcho. And they're getting ready to get this one done and dusted. Graba only on 60%, but he's already quite aggressive. And Utka trying to do something with this. There's so many Polish players up there. They losing 3 in that exchange, and only Crime going down. But however, they do get the force out of Py-bun to make sure nobody goes through. Barth is gonna have a rude awakening by Poker. Oh, he's trying to punch him down, but no, Poker is wound up. However, he's gonna pay the ultimate price as well by Stan. Stan is now rotating back to spawn to get those heals back. They're hurting for some players, hurting for manpower, but they do have that 100%, and they may be able to get this one done as Meef is running only a mini-sentry.
Yeah, he's not been able to get a level 3 up since that first exchange. 3 players down for Russia, but they do lose Stan. Big headshot from Fosky may just be buy them a little bit more time here, but Py-bun's getting pushed, and the Uber's going to come up from the high ground. Py-bun's trying to run away, but he can't. He's going to get taken down. This Uber, solo Pyro Uber, takes down a whole bunch of players. Only 3 alive for Russia. Pretty much a wipe here. Grabber gets taken down by DQZ, which may be the one saving grace for Russia in this situation. But 5 seconds until spawns shake. They've got simultaneous caps on B and E to deal with.
And, well, they do manage to finish off Thazu, Finske with a 6k there. And then Kafka getting finished off the point as well, but B has to be let go with 5 minutes and 10 seconds left on the clock for Poland to get something done with this. Stan is just sticking up the plays, but just looking for TS as he's been a major, well, knife in their side. Bart is just scouting up the area. Oh, there's a lot of players coming in, and Lyklaw is not known to miss those meat shots, but they're moving and claiming control over the connector as well. Lyklaw is getting scared away, and now Stan 4 times on the point right now. Both Kafka and Stan are running the pain train to get this one capped faster, which is kind of working towards them. Look how many Russian players are still on the C point. Nobody is on E, and they're wasting time right now.
Yeah, they're just letting Poland cap right now. They have to contest. Utka with the double kill manages to get down Grabber. There is still a cap. Thazy is still ×2ing the point, and someone from Russia needs to deal with it. Otherwise, Poland are just going to win this and win the nation's going to be jumps off. Look how much cap time. There's about 80%. Kafka's going to get on there now. Russia have only got 4 players alive, and there is a mini sentry trying his best. It does take it down. TS takes down Kafka. We're talking about slim pickings here, but either side. Crime takes down Thazu, so maybe that's the threat of the E point done right now. And Russia regrouping. They've used the Uber in the BC connector. Grabber is on the vaccinator again. They're just going to run forward. Crime's got his sword out. He's not going to be able to take anyone down. Everyone's dying all over the place, and Poland come out with more bodies alive at the end of it.
Yeah, it's looking very advantageous. They're claiming control over the connector. They forgo attacking C. You know, E is already done, almost. As Stan is sitting on it and trying to get this one finished off. Red players now spawning and they're swarming E. Py-bun. Oh, what a jump by DQZ! He's taking down Stan like he's trash. And now Graba is jumping in by himself. That's the hero medic play you're looking for. He's standing on it. He's gonna get finished off as well. It's so dangerously close, CeeJaey. It could be anyone's game. Russians are struggling to get this point clean away from the Polish players, but Kafka is jumping in and he's gonna take down Py-bun. What a shot that was! And no more medic for the Russian side. E point is so close. They're getting those fast respawns. As you said, 20 seconds respawn timer on the side of red. Can Poland do this? It's so close. Stan!
Stan falls into the pit. Doom's going to get onto the point, and he double meat shots. Nightclaw takes him down. Dazu and Doom on the point right now. TS takes down one. DQZ flies in again, and he manages to kill the people on the point. Kavka is now alive in the BC connector. There's a mini sentry in heaven. Chupa's going to try, and their people are jumping in. It's going to be Tercio on the point. He gets taken down by Crime, and Kavka is in heaven right now. He's trying to deal with Poker. Both of them are extremely weak. Poland really want to get this E point. C point hasn't been touched at the moment. 2 minutes and 20 seconds. This is so close to call.
This is incredibly close, but it's trickling down again. Russians have put all their marbles on that last point. Finske taking down Stingen again. He's not letting Mr. Manager work at all. Vaccinator still in play from Graba, the Grabinator, as most people call it. Stan is locking down the spawn, trying to get C1 done. 2 minutes left on the clock. CeeJaey, we thought so many times so far, E point is about to be done. Poland's about to have this, but every single time Russia's coming back, and this is what we talked about. They always can find that last win in their sails, but the bridges are being extended. 1 minute and 47 seconds left on the clock to get this one done. Stan's jumping on the point already, and most of the Russian players are ready for them, waiting in the white room. Turch is gonna fall down, but finally, Poker gonna go down as well. Now gives Barthes a lot of room to work with. Uber's coming out of Pahan as well, trying to clean up the point. Barthes is left alone to his devices, and well, Graba's getting finished off by Lightclaw. That offense didn't quite work out as both points are touched but not finished.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, you know, that was a bit of a misplay from Russia. They lost too many players before using their Uber, but it works out in the end for them. And Utka and Lightclaw are going to get a couple of kills. Tercio is on the point right now. He's on the E point, I should say. And Russia are just trying to divide their attention. 1 minute to go. We're getting closer to the time where it requires that time to cap the point. It takes around 43, 45 seconds to capture that last point. And there we go. Poland are getting loads of players, but Stan goes down to Fuzz. And they're trying to block down the spawns here, Jake, but I'm not sure if they've got enough players right now. Crime comes in behind, but Poland are getting killed. Barthes goes down. I don't know who's winning.
Trooper with the hero plays again. That Eternal Award is doing some major work, and he's finding his way towards enemies' backs. 4 people down, 5 people down on the side of Reds. Pahan has Uber charge. They managed to finish off Graba, who is low on health on the point. Now Stan is on it. He has to fight against 2 shiny players. Crime is whipping out that sword, but Stan's gonna go down. E point is halfway there. They're getting those respawns up. The D point is still open. 21 seconds left on the clock. Only 4-5 players up for the red team. They're swarming it right now. So much damage, but Trooper is working behind using the distraction. Poker is still alive. He's finishing off most of the Polish players, and they don't have what it takes. Look how close. 5 seconds, 4 seconds. Stan walks on the point. Can he do this? No, surely he cannot. And that second point of this map will go towards Russia. They are fighting. They are back in this, CeeJaey.
Oh my gosh, have we seen like back-to-back rounds that close on Steel before?
Never.
Alright, this is where I'm going to put I need another beer. I need another drink. Sorry, my mouth is just, I'm my mouth has been open the entire round. You know, I'm just watching these plays, watching these caps. I just, you know, there was a couple of moments there where I thought, what are Poland doing? Like, even Grabber jumped on to the E point, and they hadn't even capped C at that point. You know, they're just playing in a situation where they were trying to go for E over and over and over again. And at one point, I thought they actually had it, but they made the same mistake Russia did. The same mistake Russia did on their attack, and that was not going for the doorways. They were playing on the point. They were trying to get as much cap time as possible, but if they just had 1 player, maybe 2 players, just blocking the doorways and not allow Russia to come in for free, then they would have been able to get the cap down, I think. But either way, so close, and we go to a golden cap.
That is insane. That is insane. This is the basically the decider for this map. Russians are still in this, and they are definitely happy, but we're going to take a look at the logs because they do tell us how this went. Barthes topping the charts with 29 kills to his name, then Finske, the sniper main for the Russian national team with 23, 22 onto Kafka, and it's just kind of one by one. Crime, Poker, Tertius, Stingen, they all have similar kill rates. Both medics also very similar. Pahan this time edging out Graba with 2,000 more heals. He also dropped only once. Then again, Graba dropped a couple of vaccinators, which do not really count, and they do fudge up our logs a little bit, but he's been favoring the vaccinator unlock the entire game, and I'm not sure if that was the right call, because once you adapt to how vaccinator plays, you simply throw in everything you've got on the medic, and he cannot cycle through those defenses fast enough. So it really kind of worked out in their favor. And then looking at the deaths, of course, once again, Trooper topping the charts, only 10 kills for the Polish spy. He was pretty much non-existent. He only activated during the very end of the game, where he was using the distraction caused on the point to stab a few backs, and at some point I really thought those triple Ks how he was getting was it. That was it. That was when Russians couldn't have put any more defense, couldn't have put any more fight on the last point, and yet they managed to find those players, managed to find those skills and the splash damage onto E to clean it up from Poles and get this one done. So this means that Poland is still at match point. That has not changed. But what has changed is that Russians are still fighting this. They managed to delay the inevitable, and they will be able to maybe get back into this. Poland has gotten a wake-up call that Russians are no pushovers, and they're not gonna let Poles walk over them just like they did on CP Gullywash, and that's like how they did in the first round of CP Steel.
Yeah, I mean, Poland, they set the faster time in their attacking phase, which is of course in the first round, and they get to decide whether they attack or defend first, and they wanted to defend first. So they want a repeat of the round they just played, which is usually not what we see. Normally we see teams wanting to repeat the round that they won, and they're repeating the last round, but maybe they feel that, maybe they threw, and maybe things went a little bit wrong there for them, and they could and should have won. So Russia will be attacking first in this golden cap. It does seem that Stan has to go. I'm getting word that he might have to go on holiday or something, like he's disappearing. And we are getting a new demo man in for Poland. Do you think that's going to shake things up a bit, Jake? Do you know who's coming in to substitute?
I definitely know, because this has been anticipated. This has been prepared by our amazing, plan makers, Stingen and Turcho. Turcho is going to take up the Scottish flag, and he's gonna be playing the demo man for the team as far as I know, and Zinner is gonna move into the Pyro. It is going to shake up some things for sure, especially with Poland defending first this time around, but it's fresh blood. It's kind of like, in a football match. That my favorite analogy of mine. When it's late time in the game, it's about 80, 70 minutes into a game, people are really tired on the battlefield. What you do is you switch up some players, even if it's like voluntarily or because you have to, because Stan goes away. They're switching up Zinner for the Pyro. He's played in the beginning. He's established Polish Pyro main, and he definitely can do a good job. I mean, it's a Pyro class. You can't really go wrong with the W plus M1. You can't go wrong with just Aeroblast, and you can always find a niche for yourself. Now, what is a big question is, can Turcho pick up the slack that Stan has left?
I mean, that's a big question. I mean, I've been told Stan's going to Italy, so have a wonderful time in Italy.
Traitor.
Yeah. It does bring in the question. I like your football analogy, but I also bring in that sometimes fresh legs does help in football, but it does take time for a player to get used to the rhythm of the game, and I think that's definitely apt in this situation as well. I'm not sure if Zinner has played the warm up or played much TF2, but he has to adapt to the pace of the game. Tercio has been playing Pyro and knows all of the uncloak spots, perhaps, has been prepared and knows his role. I do have to give a shout out to both to Tercio and DQZ. Both of these players play a lot of different classes, and I've known them play a lot of different classes very well at a premiership level, but I've never really known them as Pyros, and they've come into this tournament and they've done absolutely fantastic on Pyro. I've been really impressed with the pair of them, and they've of course reached the final on those classes. We'll see if the change in personnel affects things anything, Jake, but I mean, I was going to ask you for a prediction, but I'm not sure if there's any.
That's impossible, man. This is impossible. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Poland is so close to grabbing that first place. It's within arm's reach. But then Russia is just tugging at their legs. They're pulling them down every single time you try to pull. It's like a wrestling match where you're trying to go for the briefcase hung up really high, sky high. And Poland's on the ladder. They're almost grabbing it, and then the ladder is just being shaken apart by the Russian team. But we're getting ready this time around yet again. Poland on to defense, and then the Russians are going to attack. And I'm really curious, how is this one gonna pan out? Are the teams gonna use the same strategies, or are they gonna shake things up? Zinner being the big unknown, he'll be looking to show himself.
Yeah, and we do see some big kills there. Arthur is getting 2. But going down himself, so obviously a bit of a longer respawn for him, may be able to work some things in for Russia. Of course, still in a situation where we are at match point. If Poland win this round, then they will be champions of the Nations Cup. If Russia win the round, we'll be going to our third and final decider map, Koth Product. And Zinner going down there, no Pyro Jake, may result in an opening here for Russia to maybe take some of that space.
Yeah, here Tercho actually trying to hold those Russians at bay here, but Crime is getting ready to push in. But Battalion's backups coming in. It's going to help out KritzKast stay alive a lot longer. They do take down Crime, slowing down this offense, but Meep has that 7 level 3 sentry set up quite aggressively, which makes it very, very difficult on pushing in. Tercho trying to take it down, but it's being worked on tirelessly by the Engineer main. They do take down TS in the background. Grabba's still out in the open. Both Megs still holding an Uber charge, and Barth has managed to use that teleporter up in there in the staircase with Kafka working tirelessly together to stop Russians from advancing. Crime is catching a lot of spam in his feed, but he's also being kept alive by Py-bun.
Yeah, still Equilibus, still no hint of either medic popping, and that works out better for Poland because they're defending. However, Stingen does go down to a body shot from Fuzz, as does Kafka, so maybe that's going to be an opportunity. Path is again picks up a couple of kills. He is just holding up that high ground, and as long as the teleporter is there, he's able to just get back off on the high ground and just stop people from coming up the stairs.
Yeah, Barth is actually waiting for those heals. He's pretty much the only person who's holding the staircase right now, and that's just such a crucial point. But he's gonna get sniped down by CeeJaey, which opens up a lot of room for the blue players to trickle in. They're pushing in, they're not wasting any time right now. Crime is taking down that teleporter to make sure nobody else is coming. Uber's coming out aggressively onto the sentry here. Doom is keeping it up, but not fast enough. Counterpop by Grabba, managing to keep most of the players alive. They only lose Barth. This Trooper is also gonna go down, but that's okay in their book, as they're still maintaining control of this point. Py-bun went down as well in that exchange, which means Poland will be able to rebuild.
Yeah, Poland getting a much better result out of that exchange. Doom surviving despite his sentry going down, meant he built another level 1 really far back and just wrangled it onto people. It does raise the question whether Russia want to go for a bit of a dry push here. They've not had any sort of pressure onto the E-point. TS getting a double kill. Takes down Tercio and Barthis, which is really big. Zinner's also dead, so nobody in the combo is alive. DQC is chasing. Grabba's got in here. What is he doing? He is dead. Thazu is trying to pressure now, but Poland have lost some really crucial players here, and Russia almost certainly going to capture the B point.
Yeah, they're not known to waste those opportunities, pretty much giving them to them as a present from Poland. Now Poker and Crime moving into the connector, they're edging their way forward, they're plowing through the enemies. Now Kafka trying to hold it by himself, but he's just one man against a wall of Russians who are now just pressing on. Aggressive play there by Utka, who is trying to jump in, and there's a sentry, level 1 only, by Doom, in below. Well, just it gets something. I mean, it's aiming at something, but he can get through players, through that little gate there. Here comes Crime with Py-bun and Poker popping the Uber charge. The Battalion's backup coming out of Kafka again, keeping him and the team alive. But Uber is not doing absolutely anything, and Trooper is walking behind to take down Crime, take down CeeJaey, Utka going down as well, and Poker to follow, which means now Grabba has a nice 20% advantage and a control of the C point.
Yeah, that sentry took down Crime. They weren't expecting it in a position where you don't normally see a sentry. Gets the demo kill, and then Trooper gets a couple of kills as well on the flank. It just meant that Russia didn't have enough players to really push with that Uber. But Utka's coming in from behind. He takes down Grabba, he takes down Tercio as well. He's still alive. Barthis has gone down. Just the opportunity of Oka walking along cliff, strolling down and getting a kill. Kafka's going to jump Py-bun. He cannot get the kill. Py-bun surfing, but will survive. And Russia have turned a disastrous Uber push into the opportunity to maybe seal out this round.
Yeah, that was all opened up by the soldier mate Utka. Lyklo sometimes coming in, and TS, CeeJaey, they all are just playmakers right now. They are the only reason why Russia is the way they are right now. They're taking those crucial classes. Grabba cannot stay alive. And I just hope that this time around, you know, Russia has learned how to play against the Vaccinator, so Grabba cannot really use this crutch weapon anymore if he decides to, well, stick on it. Now, Py-bun, 100% on charge onto him. They managed to claim C point, 4 minutes and 37 on the clock already. Grabba only on 40%, but they're holding E point. The aggressive spot, aggressive hold actually, and actually a pretty good spot as well, making sure that you can rotate quickly enough to both points while keeping control and eye on the E, which is a crucial point. I mean, if E gets capped, then it's all over, and right now Russians are kind of stuck in the connector.
Yeah, they're just being really indecisive. I'm not sure what they're trying to do. They're just losing players one after the other. Udka is on D, trying to get some time down, but will lose the fight to Zinner. And he just kind of makes you wonder what they really wanted to do with that push. And Grabba now has 100%. He is on the eSpawn, this is not really a position you want to be in as a medic. It's very easy for spam to come in from the D point, but like you said, it's easy for them to rotate, and Russia should be able to take advantage of that if they do decide to push elsewhere. They are trying to get some cap time on D, but at the moment they're just kind of chilling and waiting.
Yeah, here's Zinner with Wiethoofd trying to stop the blue players from trickling in onto D, and looks like Russians have decided to go in through there, but Kafka popping that battalion's back up yet again. That's proves to be a very annoying unlock to deal with, and they managed to finish off, Meef there, DQZ as well. Uber's coming out of Pahan, but it's not really saving anybody, and now there's a counter, but Pahan is locked down in spawn. He's gonna go down to Barthes, which means this entire Uber push has been pretty much for naught. When your Russians right now Stingen is scoping in, he knows Finsky is in there, he's gonna get a headshot, easy pickings, he expected that, telegraphed even. Now he's looking for some more, now he has so much room to work with. Crime is gonna fall down the cliff here, or the pit. Stingen's gonna take credit for that. I don't think he deserves it, but he does take it. And now Barthes is gonna claim Utka as well, looking pretty promising. Poland seems to have stabilized so far, but remember, it has seemed to be the case in the last 2 or 3 points, and every single time, all it took is just Utka jumping in from behind and taking names.
They're walking through a choke when the demo's alive, and Tercio is just farming, although they are only 4 players alive here. So despite that happening, and there is another pause here, I mean...
Highlander.
BC connector, it's just a single doorway here, and as long as the demo's alive and in position, he's just going to shoot all of his stickies and all of his pipes and take down a bunch of people, which is what happened. But Russia don't really care about that, because elsewhere TS managed to get a couple of kills and the flank is doing work. So now they have bodies on the E point. There is only a mini sentry to deal with, and they actually do have pretty much equal Ubers. They're about 10-12% behind, which in the scope of Highlander isn't that much. So Russia with a big opportunity here, but like you said, it seemed so close. It seemed so many times we've seen teams about to seal out a round, but it hasn't quite happened for them.
And I would just like to point out the situation Graba's in right now. He's all by himself, and he's running through the white room. He has nobody to heal, and TS is coming for him. If he sees him, he does spot him, he's gonna decloak, put a few bullets into him. Graba is all by himself. Oh no, TS doesn't despawn. He's waiting for opportunity. He's not letting himself to be known. Stingen has rejoined Graba to help him build that Uber charge, but Pahan already has his 100%, and E-point is almost done, CeeJaey, which means Poland doesn't have much of a room to actually do something. They need to go in now, pronto, and they lose Turcho as an exchange. Uber's coming out, E-point still being capped, but they do manage to clean it up. Nice flank coming out from Kafka there, Trooper, and Doom from the side cleaning it up. Pahan's gonna get whipped to death as the entire Russian team is falling down, almost getting the E-point, but not getting it in the end.
Yeah, I mean, there was 2 kills on the point by Chupa. Again, everyone looking towards the east spawn, because that's where the action was happening, that's where the Ubers were being exchanged, but Chupa comes in behind and gets 2 kills. And because of that, there was nobody capping the point after that, so all of that E-point pressure is degrading now, but they are getting some more kills. Like Lord trying to get onto the point, they're just trying to regroup here and, you know, just lock down these spawns, but Poland seem to be comfortable at the moment, just holding on the E side, but Poker's hiding on the high ground. He takes down Tercio. There is no demo to block that point now, and this was where the pause happened. It was Russia that asked for it, and it does look like we're back to normality, but Poland again just buying more and more time.
Yeah, and the time is very crucial. It's a commodity you can, and Kafka finds Pahan in the back there. Somehow, somewhere, the soldier is just unseen. He's doing so much work. The unsung hero for the Polish national team. Trooper is gonna fall down to his death. Another kill for the Pit Lords as well. Russia, well, they do manage to take down Graba, so that's a consolation prize. Pahan's respawn, but Barthes and most of the red team is currently respawned. They're taking some names right now. They're putting themselves in good positions, and Russia has a lot of ground to cover before they even reach the E-point, which already has trickled down to half.
Yeah, that's the thing, it's just going down, and Poland haven't really expanded from this position on the E spawn. They're just waiting here, rotating between D and E where needed, and Stingen with the body shot onto Pahan is just going to give them even more time.
It's just sad right now. I mean, Russians almost had it. They had it. They could smell the victory. And yet again, it was just ripped away from them by the Polish team. Now Taz is having a little bit of scuffle with Utka right now. He's going to finish him with the pistol. and now he's almost back to square zero with Graba having that slight, well, advantage, I would say, but he has switched out to Vaccinator yet again. He's deciding to use the clutch/crutch weapon, the Grabinator, to help himself and the team out. Now, Py-bun, 75%, and only 2 players up for the red team. Will they get respawns in time? Will they push as a force, or will they just trickle down as they usually do? E-point is halfway done.
Yeah, this is the position Russia should be in. Crime trying to lock down those spawns, everyone else on the point, just getting as much cap time as they can. And Poland's respawns are very, very slow at the moment. They get a whole bunch with the Ubers being used on E side, and that does mean that this is one last chance for them to get something. But no, Russia are going to get the cap at 10 minutes and 4 seconds. The first time we've seen double figures in the minutes column there, and Poland are going to be very, very happy with that. Again, like I said the previous round, I mean, which was that? It was like 9.5 minutes. They got lots and lots of time to play with. Russia not going to be very pleased.
No, definitely not, and they kind of wasted so much time on the last point. Poland still kind of doing those crappy plays that do work out for them. I mean, they're so confusing, they're confusing themselves, but if you're confusing yourself with your plays, what can other teams really think about what you're doing? And Russians just didn't really quite know what to do. They kept throwing bodies at the point and didn't quite work out, but we're getting back into the action this time around. Is Russians defending, Poland attacking. A little bit over 10 minutes to get this one done. And I think the key to success, Poland has been very close last round to getting this one done, you know, getting capped, done and dusted, putting themselves in the history books of European Highlander. But there was just some things that didn't quite work out. If they manage to work those kinks out, maybe they'll be able to take this one. This is very close. This is still very match point. We've been at the match point for the last hour, if not more, CeeJaey, and we're back into the action with the second or third round of CP Steel.
Yeah, this is really a deciding round almost. If Poland win it, they go through as champions. If Russia win it, then we're going to see more and more gameplay. But DQZ and Crime going down very, very early is not going to be very good for Russia. Very, very good for Poland. And they look like they want to get some pressure. They take down the sentry, but they've used Uber extremely early. Py-bun responds with his Uber, but they've lost Wiethoofd. They're just losing everybody. This is not good for Russia. Poland's surely going to repush here.
Yeah, they conscious come out of Utka. They managed to finish off Turcho, Stingen, and Trooper. Barth is to follow, actually. Poker is doing some major work on the heavy weapons guy. But the blue team is going to have much faster respawns, and Wiethoofd is still down for the count, which means no more sentry gun on that B point. He's still being pestered. TF2 tirelessly working away, slaving away at the E point. Kafka is trying to lock down the spawn for his scout friend, but he's going to fall down inevitably for it. But his damage has been done. He's already halfway done. TF2 has been scared away from it, which gives Poles a lot of room to work with right now, but Py-bun still lingering on that B point. They don't want to let this one go.
No, they want to fight for every minute possible. They are backing up a little bit here. I'm not sure whether they want to back out all the way. Trooper manages to take down Crime, and surely there's no way for them to defend without their engineer and without their demo. No sentry is up. Poland going to capture the B point now. Is equal Ubers here? But I'm not sure how much they can do with it. Again, simultaneous caps going down. TF2 just being that annoying little wasp buzzing around and getting cap on E. And then losing a lot of players here in Russia. They have to be careful, otherwise this could be a very, very fast win for Poland.
Another death for the Pit Lords as Lightcaller falls down, but not before taking down TF2 on the E point. However, B point has been captured. Crime is trying to go for a hero play onto Graba, but he's gonna get finished off, which means only 4 players up with Py-bun and Tone 100%, but that's only 4 players up for the red team to defend with. Poker in a very good spot. He's gonna do so much damage to Barth, but he doesn't have the heals he needs, and they're gonna be able to take this one down. However, Barth is getting finished off by TS in the background. Graba still on that 100%. Turcho and Zinner in tow. They're trying to cap this one. They're popping the Ubercharge just in time as there's a lot of Russians jumping and bombing in on the medic. They're trying to make use of it, but most of Russians have fallen back to spawn. And with that 100%, however, only 4 people, they may yet still be able to stop C from getting capped as Uber's coming out.
Yeah, it has to be clinical, but they've also got an E-cap to be worried about as well. TF2 is again being uncontested on the E-point. They've got a lot of kills, but they've lost a lot of players. Only 4 Russian players alive. Py-bun has gone down. Barthes takes down 2, he takes down Prime as well. TF2's just jumping back onto the E-point. He's just on there getting camp time constantly, and Poland are in such a good position. They're in the driving seat to take this one home. TF2 again times 2 on the E-point. Russia cannot focus entirely on B until TF2 is dealt with. He finally goes down, but that times 6 on C is going to be enough opponent to seal it out, and with just under 7 minutes to go, they just need to capture the E-point, which is already halfway done.
Yeah, come on, Poland. They're moving in through the connector. E-point is halfway done. They don't need much more to get this one in the books. Graba also has a nice advantage over Py-bun, almost 80%. Barth is moving with the Fist of Steel to tank some more damage. The Tracksuit boys are popping the Ubercharges. Graba has been forced out by Finske, I believe. Moving into the White Room is the Polish team. They're just charging and plowing through everything that is in their way, but most of the Russians have retreated, and now they're rotating around into the connector. Only Barthes is on the point. The Lone Warrior is trying to stay alive at this point. He's gonna jump away, being pestered by Lightclaw, who is whipping out his magical sword. But he's gonna get finished off, and Barthes is gonna eat himself a sandwich. D-point is almost gone as well. CeeJaey 80% onto Py-bun. Can they stop this from happening?
They can't stop D, but they may be able to stop E. They need to regroup and get themselves in a good position, but they're not. Poker goes down to Zinner. There's only 4 Russian players alive. Respawns are coming in, but they are very, very slow to come in. TF2 again just tickling that E-point. He spent majority of the game on the E-point, and Poland have got so many bodies. Py-bun does have an Uber, Graba doesn't. Russia need to use this Uber and just clean out E. Otherwise, it's going to be all over, and Poland are going to take it. Russia are nowhere to be seen right now. Poland getting so much free time. They're coming in from the E side. They've used the Uber. Graba 99% does get it, does keep his players alive. Tercio is now camping. There's a wrangled mini sentry as well. Poker cannot deal with it. 4 players down for Russia, 5 players down for Russia, 6 players down for Russia. I don't think they can stop it.
Yeah, they do manage to take down Graba, but that's not enough. DQZ blasting away himself, and Zinner back into the pit lord, so 2 more deaths there. 2 up for the side of red. They're gonna get those respawns up fairly soon. Py-bun as well, but there's so many blue players already swarming the point. TS is pretty much the only person who can get something done, but he's getting found out. E-point is getting capped 3 times on the Crime comes in. Py-bun as well. Poker's trying to shoot down everybody. He's not getting finished off. Not enough blue players on the point right now. Crime's getting healed up as well. Py-bun is a bad spot, but he needs to survive this one. Trooper is just distracting the medic, and there's so many players on the point. E-point's getting capped, and they're gonna finish this one. Poland wins the Nations Cup!
I think Jake just died. I think Jake has just exploded. We're gonna need new casters in the future. If you wanna cast for KritzKast, then we need a replacement for Jake. But Poland have indeed won it. I have to eat my words. I didn't think they could do it in 2 maps. I thought Russia would take Steel, and I thought it would have to go to Product for Poland to have any chance of winning. But no, Poland, after losing their first map in the competition against the USA, they have gone undefeated, winning every single encounter without dropping a map. Every single game in the playoffs, they have won 2 maps to 0. Russia, who were the favourites coming into the final, one of the top seeds in the competition overall, have not been able to stop them even on a map they are historically famous for. It's been in so close. A golden cap on Gullywash 3-2, 2-1 on Steel. Some of the rounds were literally 5 seconds off going the other way, but in the end it is going to be Poland, for the first time in their history, going to be crowned Highlander Nations Cup champions to become the 4th different nation to win the Highlander ETF2L title. Jake, are you alive? Are you breathing? You are muted. Are you aware of this?
I am aware of this. I may have muted myself by accident, but, you know, I need to give this chant out to every single Polish player, every single Polish person watching this, because it's a historical moment. Because Polska biało-czerwoni, Polska biało-czerwoni, Polska biało-czerwoni, Polska biało-czerwoni. There you go! I am so glad this happened, man. I mean, I am so happy. I am amazed and super excited and glad I managed to cast this game with you, CeeJaey. Russians did not give Poland a good time. They were really poking and prodding them every single moment of their life, every single minute of the second of their life. They've been just so annoying. But in the end, Poland is edging this one.